every time Scuba comes on.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on?
Welcome to Hanging with Drew. A show about nothing but talking with friends. So, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Awesome.
I think I
It's
just
like-
dipped out there for a second, did I? My screen reloaded, but I'm all good.
You there? Okay, good.
It's like Seinfeld, but toys.
Exactly.
Oh, so it's just
What
like
is
Mr. Complete.
the deal? Awesome. We got some great guests on the shows. Scuba Pete, MVargo, Tony from Analog Toys. Welcome, guys. We got some people already in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
I love the chat because I'm usually in the chat. Chunky on Crafts and Build is here. The Dragon Reborn. Good to see you.
Girl.
Not Top Goon.
Hey.
Hey,
Good to see him in the chat. And let's see.
Ted.
I can't say the last name. How do you say it?
Milich.
Milich? Not Milik? I know how some pronunciations are.
He's never corrected me before, so I'll just go with Ted Milich.
Scott Hughes in the house.
Scott.
Hey, Scott.
Good to see you, Scott. Scott's the reason I did this live stream today. He messaged me during your live stream yesterday, Tony.
Yeah.
And he's like, when are you going to live stream again? I was like, I hadn't really thought about it.
Man, the peer pressure that Scott is able to bring to bear on the YouTube platform. You will stream.
Great. Robert's Infinite Realm. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I just stuttered my words. Neil from Yesterland
What's up, Neil?
Toy.
Hey, Neil.
Good to see you, bud. Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank. That's
Hello.
a lot. I'm going to call you Lester from now on. Good to see you. Well, what's up, guys? I hear a couple of you are getting to go places we aren't going, and we're having to sit here and just drool. So
Yeah, order our Swarm Hordes online and not get any of Series 3.1.
Yep, just blew in the door from PowerCon. I mean, literally, like rolled in the driveway and turned the computer on.
yeah, I messaged
It was awesome.
Scuba this afternoon. I said, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing a live stream at 7. You want to be on?" He goes, "Sure, I'll be home from PowerCon by then." I'm like, "Hey."
Hey, Michael, I love that green screen background you've got there.
Who, me or
Michael,
Not green screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was being sarcastic.
Yeah, he's being mean.
Because last time you were in like a dusty attic, and now you've got these beautiful display cases.
It's immaculate.
Yep.
It's like a museum back there now.
Yes.
Hey, G-Force.
G-Force in the house? Good to see you.
I can go up in the dusty attic if that's what everyone prefers.
No. It looks good, man.
Yeah, that display looks awesome.
like a
speaking of displays, I've redone my whole back room except for the Action Force shelves / G.I. Joe shelves and the Transformers stuff.
Did you hire movers, like 10 guys, pay them in beer and pizza or something? Because, I mean, that's a lot.
I paid myself in beer and pizza.
Okay.
While I did it. Yeah, I just started moving stuff around. I got an itch. I did the other room a few weeks ago, changed everything up in there, and then I was in here cleaning, and I went, I think if I move this here, and this here, it'll all work out. So I crossed my fingers and started moving stuff, and it worked. Thank God.
It is very much like Tetris, but when you think you can gain just, even a few inches of new real estate, you're like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I'm doing this weekend.
Yep.
Yes, I do that quite frequently. So, what'd y'all pick up?
Go ahead, Michael.
Well, first off, I got this bad guy.
Hold on, I got to get my bib. Start all over myself.
Oh yeah.
Swarm Horde. I mean,
Here, let me.
picked up 2 of these guys. I've got one in my inbox display because he's an exclusive. So,
You've already nervous.
yep.
You've already got Tony nervously vaping.
Yep. You got the one in the box still.
Do you keep much stuff in box?
Just so I keep all of one of the exclusives. So
yeah,
like,
that's the same as me. I don't keep one of every figure in the box, but I like to keep one of the exclusives. So
Yep.
I've got a Wasp Raider in the box. I've got an Eclipse in the box. Yeah.
Yep, we've got the exclusives, any signed figures. So this figure you signed for me, the Tim Kennedy Slaughter one from Joe Fest last year, prototype set, and then I try to keep one from each series. So just to kind of have to show how the packaging changes. So, but most of the time, lines up one of the exclusives matches the packaging art. So, yeah. So I picked up, just got the rest of the 3.1. I got the Pandora upgrade set.
Oh, that looks so nice.
Yep,
That's
I got
badass.
I actually think I prefer that to the bloody variant now.
Yep, and then I've also got the bloody head for that.
Yeah, I saw Zoe had posted that.
Yep, yep. That was the one item she bought. She's like, because I opened it and I was like, maybe I'll get lucky and get the variant. She's like, well, just give me the $13 and I'll go buy one. So now she can hold that over for me.
Mr. Revrak's asking if you could show the back of the box.
Yeah.
He wants to read the bio.
I don't know. You're gonna probably have to pause later to do that.
I got to put a video up on my channel where I kind of go run down it quick and I paused on it, so you should be able to read it there too.
There you go. Yeah, Mr. Revrak, just subscribe to MVargo's channel and watch his recent video.
Yeah.
That'll show you everything you need.
Yeah, I got the kill switch upgrade set right here.
Oh,
With the
Nice.
here, let me plug in the effect for it.
Oh yeah.
so cool.
Yeah,
Love it.
Well, you think with that that sort of velocity coming out of that right, she wouldn't be doing that standing up, but
No.
Yep. Clips.
Yeah.
That looks good.
I like that face. She's gonna kick your ass. Just
Gemini here.
oh, yeah.
Female Riot. Gotta wait to get another gear pack for her. So
So he's not doing the right gear set yet. Is that right?
yep. So I'm just probably gonna do a spec ops once those go up.
Okay. Yep.
Huh.
Yep. Got the female spec ops right here.
I like that AK with the folding stock.
Yep.
That looks nice.
Her.
The details that he gets
Yep.
on all the, I mean, it's just amazing.
Desert Rats female troopers now.
Oh yeah, baby. Ladies in the house.
Nice.
And
Thank you, Neil.
then finally, we've got the Delta female. So nice to finally get some of these
That does
some of
look
these
good.
girls with gear packs in my shelf now.
Hell yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to order more once he puts them back up. So
I'm actually glad that he didn't put them all up there because I did get the 2 hordes, but I gotta, budget this stuff.
Yep. So that's what when he announced that he was bringing all that extra stuff. I was like, oh crap, I gotta move some money around, don't I?
So
And then
let's
yeah,
take a
then I got the-
disbursement.
yeah, I got the weapons packs too. Those are kind of just all over the place. Some of my figures on the shelves have them.
It's got them just nicely displayed.
That's an interactive green
That's
screen.
awesome.
Yep, I've got the new shotgun with one of my deltas here.
Nice.
Yes.
Very cool.
I swapped the
Very
shells
cool.
out. I like the red with the black and then the silver.
Yep.
And green ones are another figure. So
I need to
all
put
in
that
all,
with my flint.
yes, I might switch out. I have Mark II's, one of his shotguns with my flint right now. So but other
It's
than
always in
that,
the house.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hello,
Zoe.
Zoe.
Yep, I just picked up. I got an extra crimson bat from the Hella Dope boys too. So while I was there, but pretty much was all Valaverse, and I'll go back tomorrow for the panel too. So
Cool.
Yep.
Very cool. Is that?
yep, that's it for now.
You're up.
I'm up. Okay.
What did you
Well,
get?
I too swarm hoarded it. And George Aiken, if you're out there, yes, I did get you one.
Nice.
I was like, is there anything? And he was like, I think I want another Valaverse figure. And I'm like, I can make that happen. Well, right in the door at Eternia Dreams, I ended up getting the crazy Bionatops from the end of the MotU run. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, they had them boxed for like $750. And I'm like, oh, those are
That's
nice. That's cool. And he goes, I have one loose. And I was like, show me. But he actually had all three of the dinos from the end. I picked up a boxed Point Dread.
Nice.
Great
Has it
shape.
got the,
Yeah.
That is
has it got
very
the record in it?
It does not have the record in it. That was the only thing I was like, don't. But the box was in such great shape. I was like, I have to have it.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw some just crazy stuff like Top Toys from Argentina. There was a booth there that the guy was running, and he had steel molds from Top Toys. You know, all the Fuerza T figures, some carded, some loose. I mean, it was just a who's who of Argentinian MotU. And so I went kind of moderate budget after I was like, whoa, how much is this steel mold? And he was like, oh, with the Mantena and the fear, you know, it's like $2,000. And I was like, great, I think I'll take this loose Mantena over here for 40. I'm like, that is badass, no doubt.
I think I got one of those somewhere.
I got a carded Rio. I'm gonna try to get the glare.
Nice.
Yeah, for a great price. I mean, the guy was like, look, I'm not taking this stuff home. He's like, make me an offer. And also on the Hordak. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Nice.
Carded Hordak. Nice.
Crazy cheap. But
I don't even have a vintage Hordak. That's
he was like, he goes, I don't want to take it home. I was, you know, and his wife had the MotU. He had the Star Wars. He had a whole complete micro collection of Star Wars boxed. And it was, he had it listed for $3,000, but he said, I'll take $2,000. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And then while Leslie was strawberry shortcaking it up, I mean, she was wheeling and dealing, running around like, what if I put this with it? What can you do for me? You know, I was like, go, baby, go.
yeah.
But I had this as a kid. This was one of, you know, the first vehicles next to the X-Wing that I had. So to find this in the Star Wars box.
Did you have that particular box, the collector series one?
I can't remember as a kid if it had that collector series on it.
That's the box that I've got in my collection. And I remember when I was in Georgia for Joe Fest, but before Joe Fest, when I was hanging around with Michael, that's the box he was looking for, because that's the one he had in childhood, the collector series where they re-released it. They did Darth Vader's TIE Fighter in that box as well. They re-released them in like 82 or 3 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, just so cool. But I did it part of in the Leslie Strawberry Shortcake deal. So
I love when y'all come up with this information. I'm just like,
and then I got a Spanish He-Man She-Ra
cool.
poster for a few bucks. That was really cool. I mean, there was all kind of, you know, obviously prototypes and store displays for $2,000. I mean, just some really weird, cool stuff. If you had that kind of cheese on you, that you could, you know, get that. But I also finally completed my Buck Rogers figure set, I found a loose Wilma. So snagged her.
Very nice.
And met Ace from Ramen Toys. He threw
Yep.
some hat swag my way. But yeah, great talking to him. And yeah, we just made a whole day of it. Up and back.
Very cool. Tony, anything you wanted to show? I know you showed stuff on your stream last night, but
well, not really any pickups, but you were talking about, you've rearranged the collection room. That sounded much more enjoyable than what I did yesterday. So I got this beautiful Ninja that Jody, Gen X Toys Geek, he donated to the channel a number of years ago. All I had to do was replace the nunchucks. I've got the bow and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled him out for a video that I want to do, and his leg bands had completely gone. Like he wouldn't stand up, and I was like, I've got to replace the leg bands. And I've done this before, but it's been a few years. And I was trying to replace the leg bands in this guy yesterday. It took me over an hour, I think, to do one figure, and the profanity that came out of my mouth about halfway through, the likes of which I don't think has ever escaped my lips since the last time I was actually in combat. It was a horrendous chore, and fuck MotU.
You're like, there's no way this can physically pass through that hole. It's not. It's like
I managed to do it, but because I'd bought a while, I knew I needed to repair him, and I was like, if I ever need him for another video, so I went out and I bought a pack of like 10 of the bands. A number of years ago, I went out and I bought a pack of 6 and fixed up some figures, and I've never wanted to do it again. And after doing that one yesterday, I was like, the other 9, they can sit in the drawer there for the next 10 years before I do it again. I'd like to pay someone else to fix them all up for me.
I gave a couple of those barbells to Shabby, and I was like, here you go. And he goes, well, what's the secret? And I was like, just don't try to jab your hand with whatever sharp instrument you think will try and push that through. I'm like, go with God. Trying to fix it.
I've never tried fixing mine. They're just dangling. So I started collecting Origins figures and just said heck with it.
Toy Polloi had this great tutorial. Well, I'm sure it's still on his channel. Before he-bands were made readily available for collectors to use. And what he would do was, rather than scoop all of that excess rotted rubber out of the joint, he would just leave it in there, and he would screw in a small eyelet, like you put on the back of a picture frame to connect the wire to.
That's right. Yeah.
So you would screw the eyelet into each leg, and then, it was a hook, not an eyelet, and then you would hook on a small O-ring, pass the O-ring through, hook the other one. It was so much easier to do. I should just go back to doing that rather than actually using proper he-bands.
Yeah.
Hey,
Keith.
Keith says curved needle nose pliers are the secret. I've done 20 MotU figures.
I was using curved needle nose pliers, and when it got jammed into my finger, that's when the profanity started. Oof. V. Conley, hello.
I said I've done that when I'm trying to put up a display very carefully, and then for some reason I hit the wrong spot and knocks everything down. And and not just everything down, but everything down to the floor.
Yep.
So you're like, Scott Hughes had a question a few minutes ago. How did the Ramen Racer General Lee look?
You know what? Both those looked really cool. The not Engines of Vengeance and the General Lee. Leslie was like, oh, I mean, she was like a moth to a flame with the General Lee. She was like, I was like, there are them good Duke boys, and she's like, me likey.
I hope he makes some Duke boys because I'm definitely buying it.
It was sharp.
Yeah, Ace had a really good setup. Everything was looking really sharp that he had there. Those Aces of Aviation figures are looking pretty cool.
Yes, and the special
Pilots.
Ghost Rider figure
Yep.
looked pretty sweet too.
But yeah, he was great. He was, hosting with the mosting. He was, I mean, like kids of parents who were, looking at that. He was talking to those kids, which was way cool.
We got Michael in the room.
What's up?
Hi.
How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I hope
I'm
you haven't
good.
been there long. Sorry, bud.
No, I wasn't. I was there for like 2 minutes, and I was like, oh man, I should have raced upstairs and gotten my Mack truck hat and my mirrored shades and just sat here and just waited. But I didn't have time, and I was already signed in. So anyway,
I
Well,
thought
that's
I
the last
said you-
time. I have PTSD from that. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
You can take me off the big screen now, Drew. I feel awkward. Rusty,
Sorry.
Rusty Shackleford. I love that
Last
name.
thing I want to do is make anyone feel awkward.
Let's
Michael,
put Rusty Shackleford on the big screen.
I thought I saw you at PowerCon today for just a absolute nanosecond.
oh
'Cause there
yeah,
were-
you probably did. I was the one with the Molotov cocktail looking for a place to throw it.
There was some indie cosplay, but from a distance, I was like, oh no, none of that's right.
Yeah, I think there was
Never mind.
somebody yesterday too that was like that. We walked around the corner and Zoe was like, "Is that Michael French?" I was like, "No, I don't think he's that guy. He's not nearly tall enough."
No, I thought you were about to say. I thought you were about to be like, no, that couldn't possibly be Michael French. That's not bougie enough of an indie outfit for him to be wearing. He's class A. This guy.
Class A. Well, the closer I got, I was like, nope, that's not him.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a Party City outfit. Michael would never be caught dead in that.
I was like, that hat, no. And then I passed him, and I was like, in the jacket, what the? I'm like, that's what you've done to us. We're like,
Hey, you know what? You got to learn what you love. That's the thing. Like, and people say, "Oh, I don't get concerned about all that kind of stuff." Look at the man that's on this stream with us. He made an entire Action Man documentary because he learned what he loved, right? Like, and everybody else is kind of like, I don't really get into all that stuff. And I'm like, and that's why you sound like an idiot in the comments on the internet. Like that.
I had a conversation with Michael not too long ago because I've been sort of building an Indiana Jones costume, and I said to Michael, I'm not going to go for the full-on movie accurate pants. And Michael's like, oh yeah, no, they're woolen, they're hot, they're uncomfortable. And we had a similar conversation about the shoe. I was like, the shoes don't really matter. And I bought a pair of leather boots, but they're not quite right. And I can't help it. I think I've visited the Magnolia website about 5 times in the last 2 weeks, eyeing up those adventure boots.
Dude, let me tell you something. So Adrian, who lives in Melbourne, right? One of the guys that I became friends with when I took the sail barge over, right?
Yep.
He contacted me coincidentally a week after you and I had that conversation and said, where can I get a good Indiana Jones hat? And I was like, dude, you and Tony are in the right place. All you got to do is contact Hats Direct, get the Akubra. He called them. They're supposed to be a few weeks out from getting their stock back in or something.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. So I've been speaking to them regularly on it. I called them as well. They're open on Sundays and everything. And I just emailed them last week saying, because they told me it was going to be the end of July, but it's been a little bit delayed.
Right.
Yeah. So I emailed them early in August and said, hey, I haven't heard anything. And they're like, don't worry, you're on the list. We know your size, the whole thing. So I'm patiently waiting for that email to come through. That's why I only purchased one Swarm Horde on the Valaverse website last week, because
you've been putting it.
I need to keep this money aside for an expensive Indiana Jones hat.
But here's the thing. I'm not going to try and dominate the conversation, but I'll tell this story and then I'll shut up. What's that?
I said, this is why we're here.
Oh, okay. So the short version is that the Federation, which is the name of that hat from Akubra, they developed it because of Indiana Jones fans looking for, at the time in the late 90s, early 2000s, we wanted a good option, not because back at that time, you couldn't even get the official hat that you have now, Tony. Like the official hats were really junk. Like they were really bad. And like your hat, for example, at least it's a quality hat, even if it doesn't match up with every single aspect of of an Indiana Jones fedora. At least it's a quality hat. Whereas when we were trying to get them, they were garbage. Like they were junked out like gift shop crap, and that they were official,
like Halloween costume hats.
Yeah. I will
much,
never forget. I had paid $200+ for a hat from a company called Peters Brothers, which they were trying to get in on the Indy game, but they were cowboy hat makers in Texas, and they did not know how to make Indiana Jones hats. And a lot of us jumped in because of the recommendation of somebody, and we ended up with these dog hat. We used to call them the odd job hats because they just looked like the hat Odd Job had in gold.
Oh, no.
It was bad. Mine turned purple. It was a whole thing. Anyway,
jeez.
I know, right? That hat was so bad right as the Akubra Federation came around that other people, because I had just moved out to LA and I was getting to know a lot of the Indiana Jones guys that I'd only known on the internet in college because I was in New York in college. So a lot of those guys were out there. So I went and met up with them like once a month. And apparently in the background, I was the only person that had this Peter Brothers hat, and I never wore it to any of the. I would carry it in. I would never wear it because I was so embarrassed, right? And they felt like I'd been robbed. They felt like I'd been cheated. I promise this is about to relate. So I go to this get together with them, where they were out in Griffith Park, and this guy named Walt, really great guy. He's since passed away. He was really, really good with teaching people all the whip stuff, and I only knew the basics, and he was gonna. So while we were out there, this guy named Adam, there's always one guy in the group who doesn't matter what kind of hat it is. There's a guy like Adam who looks great in every hat he puts on his head, and we all hated him. But anyway, we loved him, but we hated him. Like he showed up.
Shut up, Adam.
I know, right? It's like, Adam, you've just got one of those heads. All right. So just shut up and be grateful. So I showed up, and Adam walked over, and he had his Federation, and he just bought something from another company called Optimo or something like that out of Chicago. And he handed me that Federation, and he had styled it like Raiders and done the whole thing for himself, but he was my size. And he said, I want you to have this. And I said, I can't take this. I said, I can't take this from you. And he goes, look, man, he goes, we love you to death. He goes, and you stepped out on that ledge with Peter Brothers. And we just all feel bad for you. And we want you to have a good Indiana Jones hat, which was, okay. Now the Peter Brothers was $200 and change in 2001, 2002. Try and guess how much the Akubra Federation was at that time.
$100.
Lower.
80.
75.
50?
What? 1999. No.
$50.
31.
$50.
$50.
Wow.
And it's an Akubra, and it's an amazing Indiana Jones hat, as well as being an Akubra, bulletproof, Outback quality hat.
Yeah.
I was standing there when Adam handed it to me, and I looked at it in person. It was the first time I'd ever had a Federation in my hands, and I pulled that Peter Brothers off, and I just kept saying the whole time we were there, every few minutes I'd be like, $50, $200, and the $200 hat was so fugly. Like I was like, $200, $50, and they just kept laughing. But my point in saying that is, the Federation, even now as inflation has increased the prices of everything over the last 20 years, the Federation is still the most bang for your buck for any kind of Indiana Jones hat. Like, as far as a usable, everyday quality Indiana Jones hat, the Federation is unbeatable. Like, and it's out of your country. So
yeah,
which is crazy. We got to get that out of Australia. You need to have to import it and pay triple.
Hats Direct was real good about shipping that stuff back then for a reasonable price. So
after that story, I just see, like, in my mind, the Peter Brothers hat is like this giant sombrero, and they're like, "Oh no, senor, he wore this in the Temple of Doom."
Dude, I just found I didn't think I had any images of me and my Peter Brothers hat. I thought that I had disavowed it. I thought that maybe there were no photographs left from that era. And I actually found one the other day when I was looking for something. I don't remember what I was looking for, but anyway, I'm gonna pull this up and send it to Andrew's direct messenger real quick so he can pull it into the stream because it's horrendous. It's horrendous. I want you to see this, especially when I'm trying to it's the first and only time I visited the Grand Canyon because it was me driving. It was me driving to LA from the East Coast, and I'm standing there just like, damn it, you can actually see some of the sadness in my
Michael, can you send it in? Too late.
Can I send it in what? I can send it any way you want.
Instagram.
Oh, you're one of those snobs. Okay.
No, I don't have the Facebook pulled up, and I already have the other one pulled up, and I can just.
What is your Instagram? What is your Instagram?
Stuck up
Drew G's toy box.
Drew G's toy. Okay,
Michael, you can share it directly from your computer on StreamYard. Click the present button down the bottom, and then all Drew's got to do is put it up on the screen once you've presented it.
Oh, well, isn't that just...
yeah, let's do that.
Isn't that just fancy pants?
By the way, shout out to George Aiken. And George, I got you taken care of. This is your swarm.
Yeah, George is asking if we're playing is this the Price is Right?
$1.
No,
Keith asked if any of us saw the General Lee parked out at Joe Fest. I didn't see it. Did you? Did y'all see that?
No. I just saw you inside.
Yeah, I would have taken a picture of that if I'd seen it.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool.
I don't have a way to do that. If I share the screen, it's a window. Never mind, found it. Haha, I'm bad at this. All right, here we go.
It's my first time too, so.
All right, so I'm sharing that.
So now it should be at the bottom for you. There you go, Drew.
Okay, gotcha.
Do you see how that hat
I can sense the muttering. You son of a.
Yeah, it's like if you took the dents out of the front, and if you tried to visualize it from a profile from the side, that pinch in the front is supposed to slope backwards. The Raiders pinch, slopes backwards, like toward your head. That one is straight up and down.
Oh no!
Like the whole hat is basically just Odd Jobs hat in brown with a ribbon on it.
Aha!
Yeah, aha! I'm still training him as a caddy. Like it's real bad. It's just real bad. So
I'm pretty sure that's how my what was it, Stacey Adams hat was, but I kind of redid it to try to get the right look. And it's been a good hat for me, but I really want to get the one you have.
Oh, the Adventure Built, or sorry, the Ad Vintage. Yeah, a lot of A's. A Cubra. Basically, if you want a good Indiana Jones hat, pick something that starts with an A. Cubra, Adventure Built, Ad Vintage. They're all good. Yeah.
And don't buy anything from those adverts on Facebook.
No, the adverts on Facebook are all lies. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I think that's the hat the guy at PowerCon had.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That something from Facebook. Yeah. You should see the pictures that people go into the comments of those ads. It's hilarious. You'll see that they steal photos from the other vendors. So like I've actually tried to report them before. I've been like, this guy is using Ad Vintage's photographs, and then you see people saying, "I got my hat," and the hat looks like something that they got at a costume craft store. Like it looks like a woolen bonnet with a ribbon. Like it's real bad. So,
Zoe says, so many faces I missed on Friday, all in one place. Also, Michael, I am blind and saw a 5'10" man dressed up as Indy, and I thought it was you.
Well, that means I would have shrunk a little bit, but yeah. I've got this shot planned for the big review I'm working on. I feel like I'm dominating this conversation. I feel like a dick. Anyway, I got this shot planned that I'm working on for this review where, because I'm not in the review, it's just, and then there's going to be this hard cut because I'm talking about the outfit and how it's deteriorated throughout the 5 films. And I'm going to just hard cut to me from about mid leg up in the Raiders outfit. And then it's just going to blink and I'm going to be in an approximation instantly of the Dial of Destiny outfit and show just how slopified it gets. Just like bam, So yeah,
not exactly the same, but a little bit like how you did the RAF uniform and the Bespin Luke uniform in the Spitfire video.
Yeah, Melinda asked me if I was going to do it split screen, but I said this time I'm not, because what I want
like to dissolve into.
No, it's going to be like a hard
shock,
like a Star Trek original series effect, where it's just a hard cut. You know, it's going to it's just going to go like that, because what I want people to see is not having to go back and forth. I want them to go, oh, he looks really nice. Oh shit, you know, and then suddenly he's like, I'm in just this sloppy outfit, but I will be mimicking exactly the way the outfit looks.
You're like, what the hell happened? Pass the Tranya. God.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, it's going to be something like that, because I just want people's observation to be stark. Like, I don't want them to be able to run away from it or get confused. It's like, and whammo, you thought he was the same in every movie, but he is not. And boom, and everybody be like, oh God, you know, like, you know, age has nothing to do with how you put your clothes together. Like that, you know, anybody that tells me, well, he's getting old, so, you know, they're probably letting his outfit reflect his increasing shabbiness. And I'm like, that's an insult to old people. Just because you're older doesn't mean you're sloppy. Like, God, like, give me a break.
Yeah, the outfit changed in every movie, but he always wore his satchel over the right shoulder and on the left-hand side of his hip.
And under his jacket until Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, but wouldn't it make more sense to wear it outside? And I'm always like, you ever tried zipping up a leather jacket when there's a bag on your body on the outside? All of this was logical. There was all reason why it was put together. Oh shit.
That's the
So I'm going to do a 30-second YouTube review of this, where I just tell you that it's a piece of shit, and then I'm going to smash it with a hammer.
That's the butt plug of Coronado.
Oh man.
Oh,
it lights up.
Oh, that is. Oh no.
Jeez.
Wow.
You know what? It was those Hasbro Pulse guys that came up with that.
Along with the whip.
Yeah.
Good.
I picked up the box for a gal. They had them at Star Wars Celebration, but like up high. And there was this very nice lady, and she said, excuse me, could you? And I was like, oh, sure. And she was like, oh, you're from America. You know, and I was like, yeah. And we had this whole conversation, which was great. But me picking up that box, it was like air. It just, I'm like, oh, I'm not sure there's anything in there, but yeah, here.
And it was just that stupid little party blower.
Not the whip. No, it was the staff of Ra. Yeah. It was like, oh no. And then she was like, can you put this back?
The description on the Hasbro Pulse website says premium metallic finish. This looks like microwave butter.
Oof. I mean,
it's back on the screen.
A vintage C-3PO looks more metallic than this piece of shit.
Yes. That right there.
Let's just say those were not moving fast at Celebration at all.
No.
If you took like a little orange colored candy and stuck it in the middle of an Anzac biscuit, it would look more screen accurate than this scoping thing.
That right there is a eccentric low rent wedding cake topper is what that is.
I feel like that guy, there used to be a guy at Dragon Con that had all the replicas, this stuff. And he had a much better version than that.
I'm sure. I've got a metal one upstairs. There's a great guy on Etsy called Dark Matter Props. I got mine from him. He sells amazing raw medallions. They're awesome.
Ooh. Yeah.
Dark Matter Props.
Yeah. Ravenwood headpieces. I'm trying to get, because he also sells the display base, kind of similar. I think Hasbro ripped him off, honestly. I think because he designed the display base similar to that, but he sells it, you know, he sends you a real, like, it's a miniature. It's like, I think it's about 11 or 12 inches of the stick, but with the actual brass fittings on the top and bottom, and then you can put the headpiece.
Nice. And
he sells both styles of the headpiece, because there's actually two versions of the headpiece. There's the one that's in close-up in the old man's house in Egypt where he's reading the thing, but then the one that Marion has in the bar that then is put on the stick is a different style, and that's the one I have. So, yeah.
He's buying in the wrong place.
I am the monarch of the sea. Yep.
Bad dates.
Michael, I got a question for you, real quick.
Yeah.
The someone gifted you a what do you call it? The book from Last Crusade.
Yeah, the
Grail
Diary.
Yeah.
That was a custom made, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause
Mhm.
I've been seeing a lot of ads for those types of books, and I'm just kind
Right.
of like,
Yeah,
where
Instagram. It's like,
This
Do
I could
not buy one of those books, Drew.
Okay.
If you've seen an ad on Facebook or Instagram, do not even click the link.
Yeah, a lot of those Grail Diary ads on Facebook, you'll notice say, to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Raiders of the Lost Ark, we're doing the Grail Diary. And it's like, point of order, wrong movie. What non-English speaking country is this ad coming from? Like, but yeah, like I've never been a Grail Diary expert in any way. Like because I've always been more of a Raiders and Temple of Doom guy, but
Mhm.
not that I don't like Last Crusade. I love Last Crusade, but I've never really studied that Grail Diary because that's like a thing for people. Like that's a subset of the Indiana Jones community. It has its own category on the Indy Gear message board. Like, in other words, there's a Grail Diary section because it's so involved and all this kind of stuff. And so when Prime Syndicate, the guy Magnoli, who has Magnoli Clothiers, he got his start as an indie fan of notoriety by hand making Grail Diaries. That was like what he did. Like,
holy smokes.
yeah, he was. Then obviously now he runs this amazing clothing company, but Prime Syndicate, who gifted me that one, surprise out of nowhere, he also handmade that one at a certain level. And I just got an extra little bit for it the other day off Etsy. He sent it to me with the Grail tablet rubbing, but the rubbing was pre-Venice. In other words, it didn't have the extra section. So I went to a guy on Etsy who's out of England, and he was selling the rubbing post-Venice, which is what I would want to add into the diary. So yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
From the creators of Tubbs comes the Grail Diary.
I can make crap too.
Nailed it.
God.
Oh,
This
man.
is why I love this. This is why I love it, just to have like you guys on and the guys in the chat just talking about anything we love.
Just like hanging at a bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a sushi restaurant with happy birthdays going off every 2 minutes.
I've got a question for the guys on screen. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a no from Michael, but have any of you guys got the classified Big Ben yet? The figure?
Mm-mm.
I have not.
I have it.
You do?
Of course you do.
What did you think?
Let me grab him.
Fargo coming through in the clutch.
Yeah.
Well, so I ditched the Gilboa. I mean, he's got this right now. I just haven't figured out what I want to give him from Valaverse yet, but
yep.
I mean, it's all right. It's better than anything that they've released in the first year of Classified.
Well, yeah, that's not saying much.
Yeah, you show it on screen.
I mean, it's supposed to be Night Force branded. I don't really understand the Night Force branding. These are probably going to go at some point. But
saying that something's better than the first wave of classifieds is like when someone asks you what you think of like a person that's a mutual acquaintance, and you're like, well, he's better than Hitler. And you're like, well, yeah, I hope so.
He's a stand-up guy. I mean, he hasn't killed anybody.
I did get this one in.
Oh, you bastard, Drew. So Laserman's got that for me. He's I don't think he's shipped it yet though. He ordered that for me.
Has the version of that come out with the gangster suit already?
Not yet.
Yes.
On its way.
There's one version that was a Build-A-Figure, but they got a whole new version coming out.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
Mr.
of.
Fix It, I think.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it's part of the Walmart Collector Con, I think it was, or something.
Okay. I'm gonna have to pick that up for my brother.
I mean,
good
the
figure.
gas mask is pretty stupid. That he's got his neck exposed.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't have any head articulation anymore. It's just swivels on the neck.
no.
So
He becomes a statue.
yeah,
Sorry.
I mean it's all right. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Hasbro, it is what it is.
And you're gonna pay for it.
That's right. Oh,
Yep.
Oh, definitely. I couldn't believe the price on that articulated G1 Optimus Prime. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I saw that. It was ridiculous.
What's
And I'm
the
a
price? I
Transformer.
may know of it. What's the price
I'm a
point on
Like
it?
Transformer.
over $110.
Go.
Now they have the one without the trailer that was like 80.
Yeah, $80 without the trailer in tune colors, which is like, but if you want the G1, but with all the articulation that with the colors you remember and all the articulation that you dreamt of, you're gonna pay basically masterpiece prices to get it. Which I'm like, that
Yeah.
yeah.
I just
Excuse
got
me.
this version. It's a specialty version, but I mean it's way cheaper than that. It's like
Right.
under 50 for that one.
Right.
What is it? It's a
Oh, okay. Yeah.
VNR. I
Right.
guess that's a type of truck brand.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, the legacy level
Mm-hmm.
transformations, they look perfect.
Yeah.
You don't really need a masterpiece. They're just great the way they are. That new version that they call it the missing link
Mm-hmm.
masterpiece, it is God ugly.
And it's too expensive.
Way too expensive.
I mean, I've always been of the understanding that the uglier something is, the cheaper it's supposed to be. And, that was why Pontiac failed with the Aztec, because they didn't realize that. And they overcharged for a very ugly car. And,
Shoebox.
yeah, exactly.
Now the studio series
Mm-hmm.
is where it's at. If you like the original cartoon,
Right.
they just look so good.
Yeah.
I kind of hope they go beyond the movie and go into just the regular TV show.
Right.
I mean, they're kind of doing that with the Legacy line, but it's still newer, updated models and not trying to get the cartoon look. But the cartoon look just looks really good. Every single figure has been, I'd say, at least 90% so far. So.
I know I'm kind of backtracking here a little bit, but I just had a random thought based on something in the comments. Vargo, how close do you think that Big Ben figure's face is to Tony's? I'm not making a joke, because I think that I mean, the original really does look like Tony. The original vintage one does look like Tony. So I'm curious how much of that got filtered back to Hasbro, and then how close they got it, because I mean,
here, you want to pull me up?
Yeah, I can do that.
We'll do a side by side.
Oh, let me move this. I'll put that one back.
I actually think this version of Big Ben looks like Schwarzenegger in the 80s.
yeah, because
A little bit. Yeah.
yeah,
Let off
little
some
bit,
steam
yeah.
in it.
it's almost like they, because the vintage figure looks like Tony, like it's weird, like it's that one. Yeah, you're right. There's a little bit of an Arnold Schwarzenegger in that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at their side profiles, you can definitely.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Thanks, man.
Yeah, the original Big Ben.
Uh-huh. Focus collecting much?
All complete. All the variants.
Right.
I've now got the I've now got the Collectors Club exclusive. You know, like the 4-inch modern style one.
Oh yeah,
Really?
That was the only one I needed to complete the collection. Right? So I got that so I can include it in the video that's coming up. And I really, really like this one from 2002.
Uh-huh.
He came in a 2-pack with it was another version of Snow Job, but they called him Whiteout or something because I don't think they like the term Snow Job anymore.
Mhm.
But I like this one so much that I went out and I bought a carded one.
But didn't they just call him Snow Job again for classified?
Yeah.
Remember that time we were uncomfortable with the name Snow Job for like 4 years? We renamed him. That was weird. But then fortunately all those people got fired. So
Yeah.
But we still won't bring Hooded Cobra Commander back.
No, yeah. Now we're scared of the executioner's hood.
right, yeah.
And
That's
Keith
cool.
Keith wanted to know what the Top Gun ramen figures looked like. Very cool. The helmet.
Yep, I've got them. I've got those
oh.
ordered.
You do?
Yep.
Wow.
The Aces of Aviation figures.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered those this weekend.
I asked Ramen the other day how his shark was going to scale because I noticed in his review I know I noticed in a few video reviews of the Gull Wing that it was markedly bigger than the vintage one, even though the figure is pretty much the same scale, I guess. And I was like, well, all I wanted was the shark to go with my inner stuff. But I asked him, I said, is this? And he said, yeah, it's going to be about, maybe just a smidge smaller than the Gull Wing, but around that size. I'm like, well, that won't scale with my Kenner stuff. So, the Kenner vehicles, I don't want the Shark, which is a smaller sports car, to suddenly dwarf, most of the vehicles in the first range. So I'm a little bummed about that, but,
Yeah. Yeah, they look good, but.
Yeah, and then that's when he cheekily told me, he was like, well, that's why we're trying to make sure that we're going to get the whole Wave 1 redone in that scale. And I'm like, yeah, no, I got too many hats and bullwhips and things to buy, so I can't do that. So
So Tony, what did you think of the
Yeah, it's good, man. Yeah, is that from a Guardians of the Galaxy figure, the head?
It is. It's the Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Let's see. I got the box right here. Sorry for the noise. He's headless there, but
Yep.
Yeah, so did you sand his hair off then to get that hat on?
I dremeled it.
Okay, because I use that head on one of my customs too, but
Yeah, I took the hat from obviously Trigger, and I tried to make the head shape that Trigger had, but at the right angle, and so I took that down. Everything else is Faliverse. Painted the
Nice.
the
yeah, you
pants.
just need the Vanguard
cool.
to complete your terminal list set up.
Glued extra pieces here. Moved the this from down here because the way it was in episode 3.
Are you going to have him ride a Velociraptor?
That would be cool. Well, I'm trying to find this. Sorry. Yeah, I had to kit bash the gun to match his because Bobby hadn't made this one yet, but it's all Valiverse guns. Scott Hughes confirmed that I did a fairly good job based on. But
Well, and Scott is the authority on this stuff, so.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I really wanted that figure, and now that I saw that Spartan X something, I cannot remember, but he has a really good Chris Hemsworth head that looks like he does an Extraction, so I'm probably going to order that and do that figure too. So now this guy sits up on my shelf next to you.
And you, right?
What's that?
And you now, because you're in Action Force with that head
Well,
you got
yeah,
from
he's-
Mark.
between the two of us. Yeah, I do highly recommend doing that if you're at a con and Mark II Designs there doing the scan. He does top notch. Michael, did you see that?
What's that?
The custom. He
So
did,
this is
Mini
not a
Drew.
Hasbro selfie series. Drew got
No.
his head scanned by Mark II Designs. He does all the
Yeah.
weapon designs for Valaverse. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, wow. That's hey, Hasbro. Guess what?
Right?
You suck at your job.
I mean, that's
Yeah, that's
you,
great.
dude.
That's really cool.
yeah, I love it. I want to. He gave me a second
Uh-huh.
head,
Right.
and but I wanted to message him and see. I got some of the new Indiana Jones figures,
Uh-huh.
and one of them comes with the hat, but
Right.
I think it's for short round or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to see if he'll like do a head that's bald on the top that I can put that hat on, so I can put it on a one of the Indiana Jones Raiders bodies.
Uh-huh. So you
But
want to
yeah.
have an Indiana Jones Raiders body with your face on it with Short Round's hat.
Not with short
Yeah,
rounds
it's
hat, but
Indy's
with
Temple of Doom.
Well, you said Short Round's hat. So you were talking about Short Round. So,
No,
I
the-
think short round
Short-
came with an Indy hat.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
now
he comes.
now I'm up to
Short round
speed.
comes with.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Yep.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
So all the indie figures, the hat is glued onto the head. You can't remove
Right.
it, and the only way to get a loose hat is with short round. Hey, Vargo, have you still got that Big Ben there?
No,
Back to the case.
He filed him back under B.
Can you just lift his skirt up at the front? I just want to see why they call him Big Ben. That was all, man. Sorry.
That's no sock in my garage.
Is that a potato in your pants, or are you just happy to be in the SAS?
Michael's gonna throw him on the floor. Damn it!
To clarify, a head sculpt, not a Big Ben, right?
Well,
Yeah. Well, I think because the chat is delayed, we have to assume it was from the other earlier part of the conversation. Yeah. But yeah, that whole thing with the adventure series, I had somebody, I can't remember if it was on 3POA group or something. They were joshing me about the fact that I ran across the retro Sean Connery and Sala at a Target. I took a picture of the varying price tags because apparently Sean Connery's worth more. And
Yes.
I picked them
$3
both up.
upcharge.
Yeah. And I got the Indy from Amazon to complete it out just because I've already got customs, like really nice vintage customs of Temple of Doom Indy, Cairo Indy, Marion from Cairo, stuff like that. And when Tony was here for Joe Fest, we both found the retro short round. So I have a short round to stand in, even though he's way too tall, but whatever.
way too cool.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I almost want to cut his legs off and then glue his feet back on. But I'll do it too. I'll do it.
That's like they'll chop you into bits.
Yeah, they gave us a 16-year-old short round.
Yeah, like, but I'm kind of I knew that I had enough material left over. I was like, I can get all of these characters accessorized, like the Last Crusade Indy and stuff. I've got an extra replica whip that's decent to give him, and I'll swap the bags around, and I've got plenty of 08 accessories and stuff, and I'll just get them all kitted out. And the Temple of Doom Indy and the Last Crusade retro indies, they still blow because they're Kenner quality with that rubbery kind of like legs and stuff. But their faces, the faces they did, while still not accurate to Kenner, at least they're not as overstated in the paint apps for the eyes and eyebrows as the first one. So they actually blend a little better in a case display. Obviously, the Last Crusade Indy still has the weird, what I call yellow khakis. I don't know why they made his khakis almost like mustard yellow, but they did. But overall, I think the Indy turned out pretty well because I gave him a Marauders Task Force Webley and stuff that was more accurate, and the Webley actually does fit in that leg holster the same way that the vintage one kind of does, where it kind of sticks up and whatever.
Yep.
But it was a fun experiment. But yeah, those figures are cheap garbage. They're basically like birthday cake toppers. They're not really decent action figures.
George Akins asks, do you all think the reason Stan Solo figures are getting very expensive to get is the anti-repo crowd see them as an investment?
No, I think it's because they are just so damn well made. They're getting they're getting better all the time. He's doing great stuff, and people are just starting to realize after it took a long time and a lot of videos from people like me and Michael to get people to realize just how good he was making stuff. It's now everything that is no longer available and the production run is over and the stuff that he doesn't have tooling for anymore. People are now realizing like, hey, this stuff is desirable. And, if you want to have a carded Power of the Force 2 yak face in your collection with the coin, you're better off paying $400 for a Stan Solo because that's what they go for now.
Right.
But maybe even more than that, the carded one, than paying $3,000 for vintage. So, yeah.
Yep.
I don't think it'll be long though before the anti-repro crowd starts dealing in Stan Solo because they're all in it for the money. And once they realize there's a bit of coin to be made, they'll be jumping all over that stuff.
Yeah. And I'm sure they'll have dumb rules at first they try and set for themselves. Like, we only collect the carded ones because those are the ones we're guaranteed, you can tell are not, vintage original, but stay away from the loose ones. And then that will break down because the loose ones are going for a lot of money. I've maintained it for years. The people in the anti-repro crowd don't actually have principles. And I don't mean the people that collect. I mean the people that lead the charge. The ones that created this movement and have brainwashed all the people below them, they will turn on a dime. Like, you saw the way they backpedaled and did the mental gymnastics when Hasbro started doing official retros. Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, these are from the company that owns the IP. So, and they've been working with us. They've been talking with us about, making the weapons obvious at a glance. And I'm like,
they haven't been talking to them.
I was like, bullshit.
Yeah, those weapons are not visually different at a glance for even the above average person. Like, you would have to have a loop on your eye to really, tell some of those weapons. And they're just, they're shooting in the dark.
Yeah, Yoda's cane is one of the best reproduction canes I've ever seen. Is the Hasbro Retro Collection one?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
It's spot on, and they're not trying to make it different to assuage the OCD people.
No.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for the hang. I do have to shoot off. We're going to take my son to work shortly. I'll go and keep listening in though on the way.
It's always a pleasure getting to talk to you, bud.
Hey, likewise, guys. Have a great show and stay safe. See you guys.
Too, bud.
Cheers.
Bye.
Yeah, I have to admit, I only have 2 Stan Solo figures at this point, and they're both in the card. It's the Desert Rat figure and the Iconicon Boba Fett.
That figure's getting expensive, that Iconicon Boba Fett.
Yeah, I love them in the package, but now that I got that Star Wars collection behind me, I'm probably gonna have to get a couple of figures like the Slave Leia and the not Bestman, the Dagobah Luke
that he's got coming out. Yeah, he's got that.
That thing's sweet.
Oh man, and then I heard he's doing something with Vader. I heard so. Yeah,
I just picked up a couple Fleet Troopers. Like they were on the doorstep when we came back.
Fleet Troopers are good. I'm really laughing about this because a few days ago somebody randomly sent me a message asking me, you gonna pick up all the Return of the Jedi retros? And I was like, no, just Mon Mothma, and that's about it. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I don't need all those others. They look weird. And no. Oh wow, okay.
At least we don't have that board game for Mon Mothma this time.
Jesus.
Is it a board game again? Or
No,
is it,
it's not.
oh, thank
At least
God.
it's not this
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The landfills that are full
Yeah.
of those stupid board games.
Yeah, for real. I do credit them. I don't credit Hasbro often. I'm sure the figure will still be kind of garbagey and overpriced, but at least they did a Mon Mothma and not like Death Star 2 Jedi Luke Skywalker, which is just Endor Luke with a Jedi head on him. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
you know, at least they did something that we hadn't gotten before. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You think there'll come a time when they'll be doing retro Power of the Force 2 figures?
Maybe look if there's one thing that I know, it's that Hasbro is shameless. They'll do it if it'll make money.
Truth.
You know?
That is the truth.
Yep.
Randall's asking, gentlemen, do you see Stan Solo doing his Indy figures if the retro collection goes away this year?
I would hope so. I really would. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Steve,
No, I'm sorry. I was just like, we would all be blessed if he kept going.
Yeah. I hope that, like I've said, it's a tough thing because on the one hand, based on all of my experience with the Indy franchise in toys over the decades and my experience with how that franchise is handled by licensees and where we are with the state of Hasbro, I don't want to be right for the sake of being right that it's all going to be over because there was no announcements at San Diego Comic-Con and things are looking kind of sparse, you know. I would love for them to suddenly figure out that there's still more they could do if they would just get creative. Yeah. But I don't have any faith that they will. So with that being said, if and when it dies, the better stuff is gonna finally be able to come out from Stan Solo. I think he would do a much better job. The thing is, is that if Stan Solo sees what's happened with the Hasbro stuff, there are two things at play there. There is the fact that Hasbro has once again overpriced and underdelivered on the products. They're not great for the price you're paying. That's a problem, which that's a problem that Stan Solo doesn't have a problem with. You get what you pay for with him. Like you get the quality.
Yep.
But the other factor is Indiana Jones has never quite been able to reach escape velocity as merchandise in the toy world. So it's like, how much of that is the property not being as toyetic as we'd like to believe, and how much of it is the toy company making bad decisions that if that was rectified, more people would be interested? I don't know. So that could keep Stan Solo away from certain characters. He might do Indy Marion and a few other choice figures, and then after that, he might say, "Look, I'm never going to do the German mechanic, guys. Like, that's a peg warmer.
Yeah, that steel mold cost a fortune, to make, and then to do that and be like, yeah.
I mean, that Marion was a real smart move because we all knew that the Hasbro Marion was going to suck, and the retro one, and the vintage one is worth gobsmack amounts of money. So based on what the Star Wars Stan Solo stuff is doing right now, can you imagine what his Stan Solo Marion is going to be worth in a few years? I mean, it's going to be crazy.
I saw a carded Marion today, and I think I want to say it was $2,000. I mean, I was like, "Grr."
And did it have the Belloc offer on it, or was it offerless?
You know what? Because literally we just finished the con, hopped in the car, and
yeah, I had invited Sal on, but he's always working on.
Yeah,
Saturday.
I'm sorry, it was $1,100, and it did have the Belloc offer.
Yeah, if you can find that Marion without that offer on it, as all Kenner card backs back then did, offerless and with offers, those offerless ones are like, even though I think that Marion photo sucks. I think it's always sucked.
I would love to have that line. I just, when it's kind of what like Tony was talking about yesterday on his stream, they're so expensive. The the good ones are so expensive
Mhm.
that by the time, yeah, I mean, if I would got those, then I would probably collect the rest of the line. But it's kind of like if I dip my feet in, it's gonna be the German mechanic and tote.
Honestly, man, if I were in your shoes, I look, it has its faults, but if I were in your shoes, while it's still somewhat affordable and everybody's distracted by the 6-inch series, I would go after the figures you want, the 2008 line, because
Yeah, I've been waiting for a couple of those to drop down in price.
yeah,
They're little too
some of them are the ones from the
but
Lost Wave. The
the
Lost
Lost
Wave,
Wave, yeah.
yeah, those are ridiculous. Then I got all of mine loose, complete in a bundle, and I still paid several $100. But those are the ones that are like barrier to entry. But some of the other ones, like that Temple of Doom wave, is really good, and that was technically mass retail. So like Temple of Doom, the Last Crusade stuff is really decent in that line. The Crystal Skull stuff, it's decent, but the movie's not decent. So
Right.
that mileage may vary there. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I like the stuff from that. That movie was very
The vehicles were good too.
yeah. The vehicles were great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that big tree cutter.
Yeah, really good engineering on that thing,
Right?
I was shocked. But even like the trucks and the staff car, or not the staff car, the troop car and all that stuff, it's really good quality. Like it's
right. Yeah, I do want to get those. That is true. I probably would focus on that.
The
that
Akator
line,
playset sucks. You can skip it. It's not even based on anything.
No, it's just
No. It looks like it has a big phallic thing on the top.
yeah.
Sticks
I found it
straight
for like $5, and I'm like, you know what? I could
Wasn't it a
probably
reused?
make
was it-
something out of this.
Yeah, it's Mustafar.
That's right.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the
Yeah.
I think I
got the
learned
little
that in your
flippy
video.
pool.
Mhm. It's awkward, but yeah, like unless you're just like a crazy customizer that sees possibilities in that playset, you can totally skip it. You don't need it. But yeah, the figures and the vehicles and the horse, they're quite good. I mean, they're
I've got the horse and the desert convoy truck
uh-huh.
from that 08, and it's awesome. I love that fabric canopy.
Yep.
I think I got the white horse.
Yeah, they only sold a white horse.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not thinking there was a black horse.
Maybe you're thinking of the Lone Ranger line, or
Yeah, that's I was like Gabriel.
because
Or maybe I'm just thinking of the vintage. They had black horse in the vintage,
there was no black horse in the vintage Kenner line, but it was based on a line that the real West, that horse might have been black in that line. I don't know. You'd have to look. So
Miss Scuba is in the chat.
Somebody's up from her nap.
No, in 2008, Hasbro was, I mean, with Star Wars 25th anniversary of Joe was coming out, they were really putting out.
Yep.
That's probably the last time they were really caring about what they were putting out.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we got that massive Falcon, right?
Yep.
First came out in 08.
100%. They were really firing on all pistons then, even when they made a few mistakes, like too many Uga warriors in the first assortment of Indiana Jones.
Yep.
But otherwise, they were really ambitious there. Like they were doing, really good stuff across, like you said, multiple lines. And I don't know what happened. They lost their balls.
That's when they stopped doing mailaways and stuff too. I remember they were still had some mailaways then, because those are some of the last ones I ever got.
Mm-hmm.
And all their figures went back to 5 POA.
Yep.
At that time. Right after that, it sucked. Because I was collecting a lot of the stormtroopers and clone troopers at that time. And then all of a sudden I went to go buy one. It was like, no, I'll put that back on the peg.
Yep, and Joe disappeared basically, and
Evaporated.
Yeah, Joe went to Toys R Us for a few years to die exclusively.
Yeah, and then say nothing.
Yeah, G.I. Joe, what's that? Don't insult my intelligence, Kirk.
Yeah, not Goom's talking about I guess the video you did with you Kit Bash the characters from
Combat.
Combat. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to do that, and their stuff is really good. It's just a matter of, for them, it's like a lot of their stuff is more modern, but their World War II stuff, I begged them. I said, "Are you guys ever going to do like, you've done British Army? Are you going to do RAF? Are you going to do, And they were like, "Well, we only really do troop builders." I'm like, "RAF guys are pilots." They're like, "Yeah, but there's no airplanes," and I'm like, "I can fix that,"
I haven't dipped my feet into the figure realm, but I love their. I buy their stands for a lot of my stuff because you got the clear and the black.
Yep.
You can connect them together. So I buy from them all the time for that. But they are the figures look good. I haven't been able to figure out how to customize it. I'm trying to look into it, see if I can customize any figures like Michael Knight from Knight Rider to put with my Playmobil, because I'm not a big Playmobil character fan,
right?
Even though I played with them when I was little, but I love that car and I love all the other cars with it. It'd be cool to have a scale like a 3 3/4 character of Michael Knight to be with that car.
Oh, yeah.
You can get close, but the head's not right yet.
I like they came out with Jack Burton and Snake Plissken figures. Marauders did.
Yeah, they did that whole thing where they
was that Marauder or Fresh Monkey Fiction?
That was Marauder.
Was it?
Yep. Yeah, because I picked up Jack Burton for a little Big Trouble.
Yep, because Eagle.
It was an amazing nap.
Too, yeah.
She drove home. She earned it.
That's the thing that's so frustrating. I'm looking at their website right now, and they've still got like the British Army guy, and you'd have to paint him blue-gray and then like sculpt his boots a little differently to make him an RAF dude, and that's just like way too much work for me. Once you tell me I have to paint something, I'm like, nope, I'm out. So
yeah, I love that you can do that with these characters. That's what it was fun. I can't talk. That's what made it so much fun to build this guy with Action Force is the customization.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm just customizing to customize, I'm not really. I'll do that sometimes, but if I'm customizing for a purpose to try to create a certain character or something,
right?
I'm all in on that. To get what I want. So he said, let's play a game. How old was MVargo in 2008?
Well, let's just say 97 wasn't only my football number.
Nice.
Still old enough to be actively paying with everything they were putting out, playing with them.
Got Chad in the house. Good to see you, Chad.
Hey, what's up, Chad?
I'm trying to scroll down. I kind of I get so involved in the conversations that I forget to look at the chat. I'm like, this is interesting. I forget I'm
yeah, but the chat always starts to become its own thing. Like they go off on tangents and
yeah, people in the chat, they're the ones that they say that they want you to have a topic for your live stream when you don't have one. But then when you actually have a topic and they all show up, they ask you a bazillion questions that have nothing to do with the topic. But if you don't have that topic in the thumbnail, they give you shit for it. Ask me how I know.
I know that's not me, because anytime you're on, I don't care what you're talking about. I know that it's going to be a smorgasbord of awesomeness, and I'm going to enjoy it.
Well, I greatly appreciate that. I was actually thinking about doing a live stream with the title called "We Are All Fans," and talking about how, like, because I've gotten comments over the years, not to me personally, but I've seen the comments in groups and toy groups and all that kind of stuff, where people throw around the thing like, I'm a true fan, or you're not a true fan, or this and that. There's all these like different knowledge levels. And I sit there and I'm like, well, I've never eliminated or disqualified somebody for being a fan of something based on criteria. There are different kinds of fans.
Sure.
And they all attack their interests in different ways. And unfortunately, we have some people in life who they think that the way they attack it is the only way that's valid. And that, and I was trying to think of a way to just have that discussion. But then I got sucked into this edit and
Jeff Morris topic. We don't need no stinking topic.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Fans, I thought we were all haters.
I'm a hater of
Leslie, I picked up what you were putting down there.
Oh no. And now for something completely different.
Yes. Speaking of which, I totally forgot to put something in the Valicon chat that I think would amuse everybody there. So I'm gonna send that real quick because I'm sending this and I'm dedicating Leslie. I'm dedicating this next post in the Valicon group chat to you. So if I can just find it.
I love Chad's car rants. Those are so great.
Yes, they are. His Hooded Cobra Commander one recently was really good.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It was funny. Yeah.
And accurate. Yeah.
Like whenever he says Bonaventure, ah!
Michael.
Yo.
You or I'll do it.
What Michael are you talking to? You could be talking to.
Oh, that's
true.
It's
multiple choice.
I say MVargo on screen for him since.
Just call him Rusty.
Yep,
so,
Rusty.
I can't call you Retroblasting because Retroblasting is a group, a collective. But so I call you Michael, and then I call him MVargo. Anyway, not to bring up any negative energy or anything with you, but I just find it funny the comments you have to make on your videos sometimes that it would make for a fun collage video.
You talking about like the disclaimers?
Where someone says something like, "You forgot this," or "Hey, this is more important than that," and you're like, "Why are you here?"
Maybe you should have actually researched your topic.
What I've wanted to do with those comments for a long time, and it would require a little bit of. I would literally have to start like a group where everybody just contributes, and it just keeps this running document that gets longer and longer. But what I wanted to do,
say so.
I kid you not, those people that are like, you forgot, or why didn't you mention, or whatever, and then they fill in the thing with whatever they're fixated on. They're always fixated on just one thing, even though their question ignores all the other possibilities that would invalidate their assertion that I forgot the one thing. It would be like, I didn't forget anything. I'm focused on this. So I don't have time to talk about all of this, including the one thing that you're obsessed with. But what I wanted to do was have almost like a Google Docs where it's just, I also forgot to mention, and then literally just anything anybody wants to add into the list. And then every time somebody would leave a comment like that, I just copy and paste the entire Google Doc as a comment underneath it. And it just gets longer and longer. And so the next asshole that says it, he gets an even longer copy of it. And everybody just keeps, and I mean anything. It could be like, you forgot waffles. You forgot mustard. You forgot my Nissan Cube. You forgot, just.
What about Iran Contra?
Yeah, you forgot Iran Contra.
I've been meaning to tell you, you forgot about that thing that I really liked. That you didn't mention.
I also forgot a plate of Wiener Schnitzel. What's your point? I can just keep adding everything in and then just literally dump that answer. Because YouTube, from what I understand, I don't think a comment has a character limit, or I could test it. I could break it. It's like the end screen in Donkey Kong. I could get there. I could get to the break screen.
It's 4 hours of scrolling later.
Seriously. It's become a meme. I mean, literally, you post 2 to 3 a day now.
I know. Now, some of them are just people just being. There was a long time there where people thought Michael's posting this stuff on his Facebook profile to be mean, and I'm like, no, if I had to bottle this up myself and not share it with the world in any way, I would have exploded in a closet by now somewhere. Like I would have, driven, into a tree or something. Like I would have spontaneously combusted. This is
I look
my
at it more
release.
like you're going, see,
Yeah,
this is what I'm talking about.
this right here.
But these are your peers.
I had a guy yesterday.
Right, yeah.
It was like 2 days ago where he was like, "Hey, could I commission you to build me that Lego tank?" And I'm like, what?
Oh yeah, the tank.
Wait, you want me to buy the instructions, because that's going to add into your cost because there's instructions, and then you're going to want me to buy all the parts that you don't want to buy yourself, even though there's instructions on how to, and you, like what's the thrill of, and this is what worries me about collecting with our culture right now anyway, at a high level. You want to receive a fully built Lego kit, and what are you going to do? You're going to get it out of the box, and you're going to go, and then you're just going to set it there, and then you're going to walk away like, I've accomplished something. You've literally not done dick. Like you
I can just see him. Well, I really like Lego, but man, I just hate them bricks.
Right. Like I feel like there's a lot of people in our community that are kind of like that, where they think the accomplishment, and I blame microtransactions and DLC culture on this, but I feel like it's that whole thing of, I got my new skin for my Call of Duty avatar. I've accomplished something. And it's like, no, you just bought a thing. And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with buying a thing, but don't conflate it into an achievement. Like, like, okay, if you, this is going to be extreme, but it's the only way I know how to make my point. Like, if you pay a lot of money to get a vintage yak face, I think it's amazing that you went that distance and you wanted it that badly, and you bought the thing, right? I don't know if it's an achievement though. Whereas if you were told you will get this mint yak face if you fight this bear hand to hand and win.
Now you've earned it.
Now, on the other hand, I can sit back and go, that guy really wanted that yak face. Like, and he did it. Like, he, I can't deny that,
He fought the big bear to get yak
right.
face.
Yeah. Like, and I want to be clear. I don't think there's obviously I'd be a hypocrite. I don't think there's anything wrong with going out and buying and collecting. I just think there's some people in our community that have built it up in their mind where it's like, in doing so, I have accomplished something that makes me deserving of some piece of acrylic with my name engraved on it. And it's like, I don't know if that's true.
I'm glad that's not true, because I would have plaques all over my room with my name. I got this, and I got this.
No, so what you need to do is accept the commission, ship it disassembled, and just say it fell apart during shipping.
You're a genius. And charge it, upcharge.
Oh, I'm sorry. USPS broke it. Sorry.
It was assembled when we left. I've got pictures. See,
I would have said yes, but you're going broke. Because I'm going to charge you.
The
My
funny
hourly rate is
and the funniest part was people have no clue. Like, some people were jumping in there telling me, they were like, "Well, Michael, if he offers you $400 to do it, you should just do it." And I went,
no.
Do you know
400?
how much it costs to buy that many parts on Bricklink of various styles?
Maybe
Like,
for the first hour.
Right. It's like that $400 would probably cover the parts, and then I'd have like a $25 fee on top of that. And that wouldn't be enough for my time to build it, because it would take like 2 or 3 nights to build it and all that kind of stuff, and then ship it and all that kind of stuff. The guy would have sticker shock just seeing the estimated price. Like, because I know I had a guy years ago, some rando, and he was like, "I want to have you restore," and I never did any restorations on commission. People kept asking and I didn't do it. They were like, "I want you to restore this vintage AT-AT Walker that I got. because I want to give it to my 4-year-old for Christmas. And I'm like, hold on. And I told the guy this. I said, you want me to source and scour eBay for very rare vintage parts? Because he was adamant that he wanted all the stuff authentic.
Mm-hmm.
I said, clear
Yeah, those
chin
front
guns.
laser, the chin guns have to be
the
real.
battery covers, the this, the that. I said, and you want me to get this all dolled up and put together for you so that you can give it to your 6-year-old when you could go out tomorrow onto eBay and find a boxed Power of the Force 2 AT-AT that's the same mold with more features.
Yep.
And you would be able to give him a brand spanking new AT-AT Walker right out of the box. But you want me to go find rare parts to put on a thing that's already barely survived the last 3.5 decades. And you want me to kick it back out there into the world so that it might roll the dice on another 3. Are you crazy?
Yeah,
And the guy was like, you could tell the guy was offended. I felt like I was speaking to some sort of, aristocratic person from like the 18th century or something.
I
It was
was
like,
going
how dare
to pay you.
I was waiting for him to hit me with a silk
Like
glove.
a glove. I challenge you to a duel.
Yeah. I felt like, who I felt like? I felt like Samuel L. Jackson in the beginning of Unbreakable, where that guy was like coming into his art gallery wanting to buy original comic book art for his kids' like nursery. And he's like,
what?
This is high art, my friend. He's like, I'm not selling to you.
Well,
I know
yeah, it's
Keith-
not like the kid knows any different, anyways.
Yeah, true.
Well, and Keith Knight, he was doing some like awesome custom vehicles for somebody on commission, and then he got stuck in this like, well, here's a giant bag of basically blank vehicles. Here you go, Dance Monkey.
Right. Yeah.
And for that price that you told me, you did that one. So go do. And I'm like, oh no, that was such a slippery slope. And I'm like, what you crank out at the end is worth over $100. Easy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was like, plus your time. And he's like, when I finished these, and I was like, oh my God.
I mean, at least he works quickly. That's all I'll say.
He's but
yeah. Ooh.
I'm like, just say no. Just say no.
God.
So, Michael, you're saying you won't build me a tank?
Are you saying that you're actually asking me for a tank?
No, but I will one day want to build that. That looks so freaking cool. I don't know why they didn't make one.
There's this weird thing with Lego where they claim that Lego has this thing about making military vehicles, and I was like, but they made the Flying Wing in 2009. Like, that's about as military and close to problematic as you can get.
Yeah.
And they also made twice over now. They've made the German fighter plane in Last Crusade, as Lego interprets it. But I got
But no, all those different militaries had a flying wing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Sal. Okay.
I'll heckle you for free.
I look forward to discussing the gag short video, Sal, and also us doing our relaunch of Ancient Mysteries together.
Yeah. I missed that.
It's not dead. It's just on hiatus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always leaves you wanting more.
That's right. Like all the great mysteries do.
Hey, Gav.
Gavin's travels in the house. Good to see you, bud.
And Laser Pants was working hard.
Yeah.
He was earning his keep.
Yeah, I'm hoping I get to come hang with y'all at Dragon Con. You're planning on going on Saturday?
Me? Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's Saturday.
Yeah, I'd love to if y'all will have me. I'd like to, and I can get away from this place.
I mean, you're always welcome to hang with us. I mean, I look, I don't exclude people. Like, I won't be like, hey, look at that costume, and then you turn around and we're gone or anything like that. I'm not gonna do that. So I don't know if I'm going to be. I don't know if I'm going to be dressed up as anything. Depends on what Sal says he's got some plans for that possibly for himself. So if he does that, then I don't know if I'm going to feel left out if I don't do my own thing. Fortunately, I've got choices upon choices to choose from. But that's not a humble brag. That's just, it's my sadness of how I wasted my 20s. But I've got all that. So
Not wasted.
What's that?
All I have left is my Indy outfit. So
well, at least you kept the best of the best. Not that your Gambit was awesome, but I'm saying the Indy stuff can also be worn piecemeal throughout your life. Whereas
the Gambit was fun, but I do not have the body for that anymore.
Well, there's not supposed to be any body shaming at Dragon Con.
That's more right.
Like it. But yeah, that was fun. I liked doing the Gambit.
When is Dragon Con?
Is it Labor Day weekend?
Oh, okay.
Oh, he said when.
When. Sorry.
I was going to let you have that one, Michael. But yeah. First time I met you was at Dragon Con. You didn't meet me, but I met you at your panel.
Oh, I was like, wait, Biscuit? What?
Unforgettable.
Thundercats, Silverhawks, and was it Tiger Sharks? Panel?
When Andrew said that, he's like, you didn't meet me, but I met you. My face went like this. I was like, what?
I watched you eat a sandwich from 50 feet away.
Real.
I was following you one aisle over the whole time.
Dun, dun, dun,
Big lurker that Drew. Huge lurker.
I'm very sneaky. I'm a ninja.
So what panel was that?
Thundercats, Silverhawks, and Tiger Sharks.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I had already seen some of your panels on online, but so when I found out you were doing one, I told my wife, Kirsty, I said, we got to go in here and sit. I got to see this live.
I thought that one turned out real well because I loved the whole Panthro joke in it, and the joke where Lion-O is like scared of Panthro, that went over really, really well. And when something like that happens, then suddenly you feel like the presentation is going well, and so then you're like, cool, and then you do the rest, and it's great.
Scott Hughes, he says he's going to dress up as the middle-aged fat guy from the background in the panel 32 of Uncanny X-Men issue. 137.
I anticipate seeing that, Scott.
Love you, pal.
I'm tripping. Michael's turned into the Tony the Tiger from the Frosty.
Very good.
Oh God, I love it. Yeah, I miss Dragon Con. We hadn't been in a long time. I think 2016 was the last time I went.
Well, it's like Disney World. It gets too expensive for what you end up taking away from it.
True.
Like the reason I'm going this time is because Sal, hasn't ever been, and we're going for one day, and that's fine. But it's like Sal will see. It'll be like, oh, yeah, wow, this is insane. And it's like, yeah, if you had come to Dragon Con, say 12, 13 years ago, it was fun without being totally insane. Like it was. And now we're at that point where it's insane, and I don't recognize any of the costumes anymore, and that's where I feel really old.
Yes.
Yes. Well, so at PowerCon, there was an anime convention going on the other side of the convention center, and when we walked in, I was like, "Are we in the right?"
I was like, "This can't be right." I was like, "It's like Anacon," and I'm like,
"People are here for the toys."
And then I saw the room with like the foam battle swords and shields, and I was like, I don't understand what's going on. I mean, that's cool if you want to go beat the tar out of somebody, but I'm like, where's PowerCon? PowerCon?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with any of them.
Where are my people?
Yeah.
I did feel like Dragon Con got to be where it was one overcrowded, but also a lot of furries and naked girls with X's on their boobs.
Yep. I remember when
fun.
I remember when Dragon Con jumped the shark. I was going every year since 04. And so I was there every year from 04 to 2013 or something like that. And there was 1 year around like 08, 09 where we were there late at the Marriott. It was about 11 o'clock at night. And this guy walked by in a robin mask, just that little eye mask, and a solo cup tied on a string around his junk.
Wow.
And I was like, that's not a costume. That's just someone being provocative and horrible. Like, that's just, and
you are not the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, like it wasn't even a sock. It was just which would have been a Red Hot Chili Peppers reference, and that would have been pushing it, like a lot. But it was just a guy with a red solo cup tied on a string around his unmentionables. And I thought, okay,
not fighting crime.
Yeah.
Now, have either of you two been to Dragon Con before?
No, I've
No?
only enjoyed it via, Michael's released videos on it. That's been my take of it.
Yeah.
How was the? Oh, sorry, Drew. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no. I was gonna say it was a lot better when it was just in the 3 hotels too, and it didn't. You didn't have to go down 3 blocks to go toy hunting.
Yep. Now it's that. Yeah. Now the vendor area is like you practically have a red line following you on a map to get there when you go there. And
jeez.
Scuba, how was the whole thing? Speaking of conventions, how was the whole thing? If this has already been covered, I apologize. But how was the whole thing with all of the toy tubers being there at the same time?
Yeah,
that was.
That aisle.
I went down that aisle. Pixel Dan, he was busy. His table was very busy
because he's selling that Masters of the Universe book, and he's at Power. Yeah.
But everybody else was kind of sparse as far as people stopping on by. But they had them all like, almost like a face-off down that aisle. It was like,
they had like their own block.
What's that, Michael?
Yeah, they had like their own block. It was
okay.
Of like the 6 of them or whatever, and then
I was kind of like, ooh, vintage toys.
Yeah. I've always maintained that it's pointless for a YouTuber to have a table at a show. I don't mean in the sense that they shouldn't be invited as a guest. I think that's great because people who know they're going to be there, who are their fans, will then show up and attend the show. Sure. But for a YouTuber as a guest at the show to have a table to be stuck at the whole time, I think it's nuts. Yeah,
that's what it felt like to me just in that quick observation of 2 minutes walking by was like, they're like, oh God, I wish I could go look at toys and walk around. Which I saw more interaction. What was it? Dan Larson.
Yep.
Passed by and a few people, hey, could I? And he interacted with them, and I was like, that's definitely probably more everybody's speed rather than you will now sit at your table until your lunch break.
Right.
Yeah, it's like you're being held hostage.
How many were there? I know Pixel Dan was there. The Lawson guy,
Shartimus
was there.
Justice Curry was there. I saw him.
I saw. Yeah, Justice.
What was he, a guest or was he just there?
I think he was just a guest.
Or I don't. Did he?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Yeah, he was guest. Yeah, he was guest.
Justice Curry was a guest with his own booth.
No. I thought you meant like just visiting.
No. I mean, like when I say guest, like there's attendee and then there's featured guest. So like,
no, I don't think he was featured, but he was just running around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw him post something earlier today about buying a toy of Pixel Dan and saying now I get to play with him. I was like, okay.
Gross.
It was all fun, but he was making a joke. But and then I saw the wrestling guy, the I can't remember his name.
Matt
he went by
Cardona.
Zack Ryder.
Matt Cardona.
Yes, Matt Cardona. He
Yeah,
has
PowerCon wouldn't stop announcing him every 30 minutes on Friday.
really.
For autographs with him.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good mix of
Mhm.
modern and vintage, and if you want to go meet Pixel Dan, you can go do that. If designers of I always feel bad when I don't know like all the old designers for a particular toy line, because like they're at their thing, and you're like, hi, like as you walk by, you're just like, oh, okay, cool. Have a nice day.
I mean, look, Zoe, I would be totally down for that. I would wear the whole Dale Gribble. I have the whole Dale Gribble thing, and then I just sit there and spin ridiculous conspiracy theories the whole time.
We've all been saying we need to rent a booth next to the Valiverse booth just to hang out.
Yeah, just couches and chairs and stuff, and yeah, there would have to be some way to make people realize that it's not just a general rest area, though. Like, it'd be like, it would almost be like an Adventures in Babysitting, where it's like nobody gets in here without singing the blues or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll just have
Bobby,
Scott bouncing.
Bobby will buy it, and then he'll charge. You have to buy a figure and pay $10 extra.
Yeah, you only get in here with Action Force points.
Yeah. How many points you got? How many points?
There you go. 5 action points.
Hey, Renato.
And get you a wristband.
That's Ted. That's exactly why I called myself Rusty Shackelford tonight, was because it was in his honor. The voice actor died of Dale Gribble. So.
Oh, that's sad.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Now Now what that means is, I'm gonna have to trade up my Swiss Army knife for pocket sand. Just carry pocket sand wherever I go. If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, you need to watch more King of the Hill.
I haven't seen that in so long.
Oh, well.
Damn it, Drew.
Damn it. Damn it.
I'll tell you what, I'm talking about getting them.
Dang old man. Dang old Firebird, man, with the wheels and the our dog, man. Huh?
Was Ninja there?
Yep.
He was.
Ninja was at the Valiverse. Yep.
What about X-Manny?
Chronically Online.
did
I'm
not
going to
see
get
him.
back Chronically Online. I'm going to get back to you about the dates for our Revenge of the Sith commentary. Just wanted to let you know since you're popping in here for a minute. I haven't ignored you. I've just been head down in this edit. Sorry, Scuba. Keep talking.
No, you're fine. Seeing the Vanguard and it's gray and black.
Mm-hmm.
That was badass.
Gray is winning the vote right now. So
Yep.
behind
Black
the scenes.
trim.
Yep.
Very cool. I got to see the Thundercats layer mountain.
Oh, was that on display at
Yeah,
PowerCon?
The thing's
Freaking ginormous. I mean, if you're
you-
into that, cool.
Are you
No.
tempted by it? No? You're not going to get any guff from me. I'm
I'm not a Thundercats
uh-huh.
guy, so I don't have any attachment to it. I mean, it
Right.
has this giant monstrosity. I could see, I own Eternia, so I'm not gonna judge.
There's that part in all of our brains that say, ooh, giant play set.
Right?
You know?
Yeah,
You don't
it's
see
like
little good play
it's
sets, so
cool.
like, ooh, but not that price.
Because you could like the red eyes, down that aisle. I was like, "What in the Sam hell is that?" I had to like put on my distance gun, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" All right, let's go look at it. It's in the giant case.
You're right. That's a lot of acrylic to house whatever's in there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What
So
do they
that's
got in
where
there?
All your
King
money
Kong?
goes to Super 7.
What's that, MVargo?
So that's where all the money Super 7 gets. They go to their acrylic cases.
Right? Yeah. I was
massive.
fascinated to hear Lio break all that down and talk about
Mhm.
things they got right and things they got wrong, and I mean, the guy's an encyclopedia of all that. And
Yep, that was very interesting.
yeah.
But getting to see it, and not like, oh, it's from San Diego Comic-Con footage or whatever. It's like, nope, I'm standing right in front of it. Like, wow, that's the size of a love seat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously, I don't know where I would put that.
Yeah, it's I obviously didn't order it because I've if I'm ever going to do anything regarding Thundercats, it'll be with the vintage stuff I've got with the Cat Slayer, the old one, and it'll be with Lio, because I'm watching the series right now, slowly but surely, because I've made Lio wait 4 years. I still say 2.5 of those years was the pandemic, and it flew by and it didn't count. But whatever.
Mulligan years.
Yes, mulligan years. I want those back, damn it. But yeah, it's interesting to see how they're cashing in, or they're going all in with their chips on this Cat Slayer. So
I got the first wave of figures, and I don't hate them. I know that Lio kind of critiqued them a lot about being not completely accurate.
I mean, he bought them all too. So,
but yeah, I mean, I didn't see that, and that's why I watch videos like that, to know what's wrong. Like when y'all had the conversation about the Cat Slayer head being the wrong head,
right?
I wouldn't have ever noticed that. Maybe one day if I had bought it and was looking at it and I'm like, that's something off on that. Maybe then I would know, but I don't know. After the first figures, I had Panther had this like tumor coming out of his head.
Yep.
And they did make it right eventually by sending me some extra parts.
It's not
right.
But I just never, I don't know. I just kind of backed out after that and didn't quite trust it.
Right.
So, I don't know. I did. Renato's asking about the van. Are you getting the TMNT van? Not from Super 7. I ordered the NECA one, and although I don't have the turtles for it, so
I've still been just idly, curiously, every time I'm in Target looking for that new Mirage NECA 4-pack, and I never see it. I never see that.
I haven't either.
So it's like
there's
that
one down in Warner Robins last week, but I was not in Warner Robins.
My Target's always a pit, like it's frozen in time. Like, hello, Lando. Yes, I know you've been here for coming up on 3 Christmases.
Yep.
You know, never marked down, never that stuff just clogs the shelves.
Hello, I know what we have here. Lando again.
Lando.
Yeah. I would love to have that, because I have one of these shelves right here with each one of the shelves has 4 of the turtles from different lines in the other room. And I would love to add those, the new IDW Loyal Subject ones that came out. Those look good. And I need the NECA cartoon turtles too.
Right.
So, but that is money, and I don't have that kind of money right now. So
they're putting
all about choices.
I will have them one day. I guess I could sell a green lightsaber R2 and get them.
Well, they're re-releasing the cartoon.
I wouldn't. But
the freaking first time we're like, is it got a hole in the dome? Well, yeah. I'm like, that's what the lightsaber? Huh? We're like, oh, is this a good one? Like, Jesus Christ.
Some of that was just me playing around, but a lot of it was true. When you don't have the collection, you don't really focus in. I hear like videos and people talking about it, and 80% of it empties my mind. 20% stays in my mind. And if that 80% happened to be that information, it's just gone.
To be fair, there's so many Ewoks, they're forgettable, and it's like, is this the last 17 or not? You know,
right.
There were 17 Ewoks.
Lord, it feels like it.
It was great to have that collection. I'm very thankful for it, and such a great deal. But now now that I have the collection, I got to start adding to it. So it was one of those. I was like, oh, well, I'll enjoy yours. This is nice. It's a great collection. See your tour video, Michael, and I'm like, oh, I would love to have that, but I don't only have a couple of figures. Just nothing big here. Now I got all these, and I'm like, well, actually do that now. Set them up. So I have them set up back here. I don't know if you can. Let me see if I can. Down there. And I'm dropping everything.
No,
Ooh,
that sounds
gravity's a harsh
expensive.
mistress.
It's okay. It was just a razor blade and my custom figure.
No big deal. I'm gonna get you a nice area rug for Christmas. That's what I'm getting, Drew.
No big deal. It was just a razor blade. What the like?
No big deal. It was just my Kenner Marion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that happened. That actually, yeah. Thanks. Oh, Tim.
Oh no, I still can't get over the day you sat there and watched your Marion fall, and you go,
Oh.
Yeah, it was.
"All right, just order another one."
Yeah, because every day you wait on Marion, it's like watching
ching,
the
ching,
price
ching.
of gold go up. I mean, it's stupid. The thing about that really frustrated the hell out of me was the fact that wasn't his first rodeo. Like he knew, and he just ignored every time. It was like, Tim, the table that you bought that we've got is not the most stable. So when we set everything up, and Marion even had a foot stand. It wasn't like she was,
Yeah, precarious.
just like, and he would put his phone on that table and then spend the whole thing going bup, 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 on his phone. And I'm just like, dude, he never listened. And so my Marion basically paid the price. So yeah. And then all these people gave me shit for that. They were like, God, look at him. He's like so obsessed with his toys that he's like lost all perspective with his friend. And I'm like, my friend knocked over a $600 action figure, asswipe. Like he didn't,
And he knew how much it costs.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't knock over Sneak Peek from G.I. Joe. Okay. Like
Yeah. It's not Snarf.
yeah. It's like in that moment, he was like my cat. He finds the most expensive thing in the room and decides he wants to get acquainted. So
What is this, Jeff? This Jeff. Number one reason I'm not allowed at the Retro Blasting display room is Ghostbusters mansion and car and figures would be replaced with a paper mache version.
Oh, I see. So we have a Filmation Ghostbusters super fan in the house. Okay. I always associate Jeff McElwee with Lego, so that's why I never think about his other stuff. Yeah.
Jeff, I think you can do a tour. You're just gonna have to go all Hannibal Lecter with like the mask and like the straight jacket, and then they wheel you around on a dolly.
That's not a bad plan.
I'd be curious to see his paper mache versions, though. No, I want to see him.
That would be impressive, though. Like something World Made of Cardboard would do.
100%.
Yep. Yeah, when he pulled those paper transformers out of his pocket or bag or whatever he had at Joe Fest, like, watch, they actually transform. And I'm like,
cool.
What? Like, are you a magician?
Yeah, that was crazy.
It's like transforming origami.
Yeah.
He's just like, you want to see my toys? I put this box up. And
Yeah.
like, oh, you weren't joking when you said a world made of cardboard.
Yep.
Yeah,
Not just a name.
Cool. That was one of the things I loved, meeting people from the chat at Valicon. Just being like, hey, I'm so-and-so. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a little bit of that today at PowerCon, which was cool. And that's everybody's like, wow, it's so nice after the lockdown years to, like, one, be able to go to a convention, and two, more importantly, hey, I know you. Hey, I know you.
Yep.
And you're having like fun conversation, and everybody's like, what'd you find? Oh, I got this. Oh, where was that at? Check this out.
Yep.
And it wasn't like a done in a it wasn't done in a one-upman, like, haha, I got this. It was like you're genuinely asking, like, ooh, what treasure do you have? And
my younger brother came with me yesterday to PowerCon. He's not really in the toy community, but I had to bring him to get me some more Swarm Hordes. But that's besides the point.
He was a warm body. Look, I'll buy you lunch, kid.
Yeah, like Laser Pants and Bobby like comes up and shakes my hand. He's like, "How do you know these people?" I'm like, "They're
With me, kid, you're going places.
Yep. He's like, "You don't have any friends."
You don't have any friends. You're not likable.
They're not just on a screen.
Wait,
You mean
there's
it's-
more people that like toys?
Yeah, you mean it's all true?
These aren't AI.
Oh yeah, and he learned about the smell. He learned about the convention smell.
Oh yeah, and that was the bad thing, was there was very little air movement. The temperature was, you were actively sweating. Oh,
Walk around with
you're
Febreze.
So you're saying PowerCon has really Old Spice, is what you're saying? Like,
yeah, or no spice at all.
no. Oh, wow. So,
Yeah.
PowerCon needs to spice up its life, is what we're
They
saying.
do, yes. Should have a booth.
I have the power stick.
Yeah.
PowerCon 2024 now sponsored with Old Spice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speed Stick He-Man.
Free bottle with every entrance.
Con exclusive.
So basically what we're saying is the only thing at PowerCon that was smelling great during the convention were the Stinkor figures from back in the day.
yeah, pretty much.
They still had
lanyards.
they still had that faint smell of patchouli, and that was better than what I was getting at all the other booths.
There was this one booth, and I know the guy working it. You know, somebody had just left with their cloud of, and he was like, you know, and then we come, hey, how's it? Oh, I know what, and he was like, oh. I'm like, yeah.
Were some of them actually have like pig pen clouds around them, like where they would walk?
Yeah, like just
yeah.
That was me. Sorry. Yeah. People recognize me. Yeah, it's weird calling people in real life their username, like calling Ryan Laser Pants, and hey, Laser Pants.
It's second nature.
I think that's one of the advantages. I think that it hasn't been an advantage at all times, because obviously people can get at you a lot easier when they're trolls when you use your real name. But at the same time, like when you are like using your real name, that means that most people walk up to you and they don't call you Retro Blasting, which is nice. Now Articulated Ninja, he always just calls me Retro, which is fine because that's like a little nickname he threw out there. But people have a point of reference and they're like, oh, that's Michael French. And like there was this guy that got all up in my crap on the shocker, right? In a direct message or something. He was another YouTuber who will remain nameless, but he went like, I went at him for a legitimate reason privately, and then he sent me a private message back that was like tripling down on his own BS. And when he did, he said, because I had said in the statement, I had said at Retro Blasting, we've always had a policy of, what was I talking about? It was I can't even remember what it was, but I was saying at Retro Blasting, we've always had this policy of conducting ourselves this way or whatever. And he wrote me back like, he was like, what are you, insane? You're talking to you're writing letters in the third person, you know? And I'm like, in the third person? What is he talking about? And
George is getting angry.
Yeah, I was like, what? I couldn't figure out what he was referring to. I was like, referring to myself in the third person. I never said, as Michael French, I will, you know, I decree this, and Michael decrees that, and you know, Michael says do 40 jumping jacks. Like I was like, what? And I realized
out.
Yeah, he was equating that sentence where I said at Retro Blasting, we've always had a policy of blah blah blah. He thought there was only one person on the channel, and that I referred to myself as retroblasting, and I'm like, dude, if I wanted a channel to just be about me, I would have just named it Michael French, like, or something like that. Like, I wouldn't have. And
I mean, your original intro had at least 2 on there.
right, yeah,
It's not 3 with BB.
right.
I've subscribed to the French Connection.
Yeah, and thank you for reminding me about Broken Vader, because I always forget about you, you asshole. I was referring to Tim Ward. But yeah, that's right. There's 4 people on the crew. There's Melinda, Broken Vader, Tim Ward, and myself. So I had to go back on the guy and be like, look, man, I can tell we're in a conflict, but as far as the whole referring to myself in the third person, you have totally gone off the highway on that one. Like, I'm referring to 4 people that run
the collective.
Yeah, you know,
Skyfall. Jimmy likes retroblasting. So good.
Oh my god. Yeah, I watched a ton of your live streams back during the shutdown.
Yeah, and Scuba moderators, one of them too.
Well, I made, as soon as I created the channel and started doing live streams, Scuba was automatically a mod, because I said it's not a good stream if Scuba's not a mod. If I go in and Scuba makes a comment and he's not a mod, I'm like, I'm out.
I think it was I want to say it was George that was busting my chops on some other stream, and he was like, I think it was him, but somebody said, it's really weird to see your name not in blue. I'm like, it's like,
you know what? Every now and then Superman has to hang up his cape and take a break.
right?
Like every you know, yeah.
Well,
So
I don't know
Scuba's
how.
not the universal mod.
Seriously,
I do mod, around the block. I'm everywhere, but
I'm a mod on the 3POA, but I rarely do anything mod like, because by the time
we notice.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Do you know every time I've tried to mod something on 3POA or it's 3POA is mostly the one, but you guys are always so fast.
That's
that
my point.
I move into mod and it says already been handled by another moderator, and I'm like, well, damn,
Scuba,
Yeah,
Scott Hughes and Tim Ward are like ninjas.
Yeah.
We trained under Tim Ward, so
Yeah. I don't know if you
I'm
guys.
like, I'm going to delete this comment. Nope, Tim's already done it.
I don't know if you guys remember the scene from the Count of Monte Cristo from about 20 years ago, where the guy Richard Harris, who played Dumbledore in Harry Potter, he plays the old man in the prison who teaches him how to sword fight. And the first thing he says to him, there's this water dripping from the ceiling of this French prison, and he's falling into a bowl, and he's like, all right, he's like, so the first thing you've got to do before I even give you a stick, he's like, you've got to take your hand and you got to go like this through the water, and you can't let any drops of water hit your fingers. Like, you got to time it. And I mean, that's Scuba, Scott, and Tim. Like, they're like, and there's no water, and I'm like, I'm not that fast. I can't mod that fast. Like, there's
I'll push the button and then all of a sudden it'll say, no, it's okay, Scuba's already got it.
Yeah.
I was modding for Klobby because he gave me a wrench foolishly, months and months and months ago. But I take it serious. It's not just like, oh, here, have a blue wrench.
The thing is, with Klobby, though, how would you? I'm asking. I want you to build on that, Scuba. Like,
I will.
How do you mod? Because I love Mike Alonso to death. There's nothing wrong with his show. Everything's great. But Mike, I wouldn't imagine he's much of a his show seems to be more of a good kind of free for all. So how does one
normally, like 99.9% of the time is until like 3 weeks ago, and watching the chat, and this person who I'd never seen before pops on there and comes at a mutual friend of ours,
right?
And it was like, what the? And I'm like, delete, timeout.
Right.
I mean, like, I didn't even,
And so then I messaged Raquel and I was like, look, just so you know, and I took a screenshot, because you can do that. And I sent it to her. I said, this is what this guy typed. And that's why he's timed out.
Right.
And I said, if he comes back off of his, from sitting in the corner and does it again, I said, I'm going to ban him.
Right.
And that's exactly what he did. Because right before he comes back, Raquel's like, hey, everybody, Scuba's worked on something. I'm going to ask the other mods. Leave it alone. He's on it.
Right.
And then here comes the guy, and he's just like, rah, rah, rah. And I'm like, delete, ban. And I was like, think. Okay, done. Bye. Tim Ward, like no nonsense, because it doesn't normally happen, not on his channel.
Right.
But this was,
dang.
Somebody was having, it was like, did you forget your meds today? Because
yeah.
I think you have Tourette's.
Yeah.
Typing.
Dang.
And to take a shot at, somebody else.
Right. Because that's definitely not that's not a common occurrence on Mike's channel.
Never.
Dang.
Scuba was like, what the hell? This is my relaxing stream. I don't want to work.
But I did it so fast. I'm not bragging. It's just kind of second nature. But again, Tim Ward's like,
this is the show where I'm a mod, but I can pretty much just watch it, asshole. Why do you have to come in here and do this?
Was that the one I saw you the other night with the birthday stream? I was on his stream for a little while.
Yeah, that's
you were in there. Yeah, you were in the chat.
Yeah,
you and Scott.
Yeah, that's Clobby's channel. Yep.
Yeah, that was. He's got some very interesting streams. I remember seeing him. I want to say in one of your videos, Michael, you interviewed him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was one I did where he was the guest expert for Pride of the X-Men. And he did he was basically like my Matt Swafford interview with Inhumanoids, but he did that for the Pride of the X-Men cartoon and the whole X-Men Marvel thing for that video. And I'm really, really happy that video has done so well. Yeah, because his channel. I was talking about
Dragon Con though. There was a Dragon Con video.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I interviewed him at Dragon Con one year. We were already friends, and he'd been going for a lot longer than I had. And I interviewed him there. That's where I met him. I met him at Dragon Con at 2011. Technically, Melinda met him first. So she still claims him as her friend. But, that's fine. So he's a good guy. He's a really good guy.
Yeah, he seems like a great guy. I've been following. I think I started subscribing to him when you went on there one time, and I just kept
like 3 years ago.
I don't watch all the streams, but I do go in there from time to time and just.
It's a great drop-in stream, like when you're doing something and you just want to hear some familiar voices talking about stuff.
I love when he goes on with like Tom and. Culture Casino and was it Midnight's Edge?
Yeah.
When he goes on there, it's really cool.
George, I don't know what live stream someone was ghosting you, but just know that if you ever get kicked out of a Retro Blasting live stream legitimately, that's got.
I remember that.
Yeah,
the guy. Yeah, but George had a different color.
Right.
For his avatar. Yeah, I do remember that.
Those troublemakers they always try to get at me by cloning my friends and then causing more trouble for everybody. So just know that if you're ever kicked out of a stream, George, on accident like that, you will be reinstated.
My wife would offer this.
You know what's really bad? I am reading that in the voice of the Gauntlet arcade game narrator.
Yes.
The yellow wizard needs food badly.
Okay, you had to remind me because I was like pulling back memory for like. I'm like,
oh my gosh,
what does that sound like?
I was like Aladdin's castle. Yeah, that's where I played that.
Yeah. The Valkyrie, the red Valkyrie, is about to die. Oh God, no corners!
No
corners!
Was it on Tony's channel that Brian Dillingham got banned after he sent a chat?
I don't know.
I think it was.
I'll be right back, Drew.
This is because I blocked you, JJ. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know why. Hit the bell. Did we lose Scuba?
I think he said he'll be right back.
Oh, missed that. Sorry. Michael, I love when Michael is a moderator and someone is acting like a dick, and before he blocks them, he scolds them for.
I can't help it.
Stealing something.
I can't help it. I can't help it. Like, because sometimes what happens is I think to myself, I really do think this. I'm like, well, maybe if this guy just took one to the nuts, he would behave. Like, in other words, maybe he doesn't have to get kicked off the chat. Maybe if he just realizes that people are actually reading what he's doing and they're paying attention to his BS, and it never goes that way. It's always the guy, whoever it is, always triples down, pulls out their Wolverine claws, which end up being lollipop sticks, and then I just have to ban them anyway. So
I know it's so much fun though. I agree with who was that? Impossible Pie that said that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fun for you to just. You're very quick-witted.
I'm quicker witted than I am banning.
No, you're just like you're very quick-witted when it comes to people's just rating on you. You're just like, dude, what the hell? Where that's what I would say, dude. What the hell?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? But then you're like on a whole nother level of
my patience is about to die. Oh, like it's sometimes they just it's like with the master list of whatabouts that I want to make and everybody contribute to. They don't.
That's why I brought that up earlier.
Yeah, they don't think before they type, and so it's like, oh,
hi guys, I'm back.
Oh God. First of all, I just want you to know, Scuba, that I totally respect your identity, and I want you to know that I'm totally cool with this, and it doesn't change our relationship at all.
Okay. I saw he went off screen, and I'm like, oh, I can so go down.
So how are you doing tonight, Leslie?
I'm doing well. Very, very rested for the fact of I got a wonderful nap.
Good.
Oh, but yeah.
I never.
Huh?
I never had a nap today. My wife did. I was down here prepping.
Nice. Too nice.
Yeah. It's great to have you on.
So did you enjoy PowerCon?
I did, and for the first time, I think I actually outspent Pete.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. He was having to carry my bags instead of me carrying his.
Wow.
So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
they had a lot of strawberry shortcake there. I was very
everyone
surprised.
go get their wives to come on screen, and we'll go eat something.
Well, we are working on a wives stream, so make sure all the wives keep a heads up.
I do love that name. Wives
stream.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. We may have just came up with a name.
I mean,
I'll have to throw that one in there.
One letter.
And most people, I don't think that they actually have done that one yet. So
I maybe not.
Maybe not. We'll have to look at it.
If Melinda wasn't upstairs watching a TV show and engrossed in it, I would drag her down here. So.
I'll chat with her on the other one. We've been doing that tonight.
You're right. Chronically, there is an echo coming through. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I'm gonna let you go back to Pete.
Oh, is that
everyone?
What
I have no
Leslie,
idea. That might be it. Bye.
Glad to have you.
Thank you.
No. Well, no. Nope.
It was on his end. I think it was coming through the headset and the.
Oh wow.
And the screen for some reason.
Gotcha.
Somebody had her phone volume on.
That's
what it was.
Yes.
She's hanging her head like
no,
this.
No, it wasn't that.
You're okay.
No, it wasn't that bad. It was just like, where's that coming? It wasn't like the ones that are like delayed and very bombastic. Leslie, you were fine. It was fine.
Houses with mouses.
Spouses with love.
We need turtle shirts.
Impossible Pie. Leslie collects fans. She's loved wherever she goes.
She is. She's like embraced warmly wherever we go. She literally talked to every single person manning a booth, a stall. Like she's like, hello. And I'm like in there, like looking around, and all of a sudden they're having a conversation like, oh, we're an empty nester. And, and I was like,
not to discredit this, Scuba, but you're both that way.
No, you're
both
kind.
that way. You both walk into the room, and even in the chat, and you don't even see your face or hear your voice, and you even in the chat, you're still that way.
Go ahead, Scuba. Sorry.
Oh, I try. Actually, on Clavi's stream, Mark with a K, who's sadly passed on.
Right.
It was one of the first times like Michael was appearing on there. And so I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, well, there's not that many people on this chat. So I would jump in, and Mark was the first to be like, hey, how you doing? How are you? And I was like, I want to be like Mark. I mean, it was like this great mentor, but anywho.
The story you told about Leslie talking to all the people at the booth, Melinda will freely admit that while somebody like Leslie, who has a gift, to meet people and just, as a friend wherever she goes, Melinda has joked with me. She's like, yeah, Leslie, she's really got that power. She goes to, everybody wants to talk to Leslie, and Leslie wants to talk to everybody. And she goes, I just want to talk to Leslie. She's like, I don't. And she doesn't actually mean that she loves you and
I know,
and MVargo and all that. But what she's being that snarky, jokey reality bite self, where she's like,
yep.
When it comes to randos walking up to you at the convention and stuff, she's just like, I just want to hang out with Leslie in April and just.
We were in line for breakfast this morning, and there was quite to wait to be seated. And again, I think just because she's how she is, this lady comes up and asks her, not the person working, be like, have you checked in? Is this where you check in? Or I was just wondering. And Leslie's like, no, we're waiting too. And she's like, okay, thanks. And I was like,
it happens to me every retail store I walk into. People always stop. I'm not wearing a uniform. I don't have a name tag. They're like, can you tell me where the something is? And I'm like, and over the years, Melinda's finally told me, because it was happening before I met her, but she kept picking up on it. She's like, I think, Michael, it's because when you walk into a store, you don't shamble around. You are like headed for a specific spot.
Yeah, I'm going to electrical. I'm going to plumbing.
Yeah. She's like, and you stare at things intently, and I'm like, okay. She goes, like, it just gives off an employee vibe. And I'm like, great. So
yeah, Lowe's is where I usually like, excuse me, do you work here? And I was like, I'm in a Action Force t-shirt and a pair of shorts.
Yeah.
But what are you looking for? Air filters. Be like, back in plumbing, second aisle to the back, about halfway down. I'm like, they moved them last week, and I'm like, why do I know all this?
Because you know more than the actual employees do.
Well, that's usually I'm working on like a fish tank plumbing thing or whatever, and you get the guy like, "Hi, how can I help you?" And be like, "I'm beyond help."
Now I just want to walk into a hardware store with Scuba and just quiz him immediately. Just be like, "Screw on wooden mop handles. Where would I go?"
Oh, aisle 14, about halfway to bay 7.
No, wait.
Right by the wet floor sign.
They just did a floor reset. It's on aisle 16 now.
But yet my target is still the same. Yeah,
right. Actually, we have a Target that hasn't changed. It's the one it's where we used to live when I was doing restorations in the kitchen, the famous kitchen restorations at the beginning of the channel. That Target has never reset. It's never updated. So like it still has a huge Blu-ray DVD section, whereas all the other Targets have whittled it down to nothing, And I went in there the other day.
And DVDs?
Yeah, what's that?
Same Blu-rays and DVDs from back then too.
No. They actually have it updated, which is nice. It's weird. It's like this Target is still just earmarked for getting the old SKU amounts and stuff and order. Or it's weird. The day it changes, I will be sad. Like I'll be because you can actually walk in there and browse like 5 to 6 aisles of movies.
Holy cow!
I know, and I was like, that's insane because the modern layout for Target is here is your kiosk of movies. Good luck.
And that 4-sided.
Yeah.
Ding, ding.
And
There you go.
If
That's our movies.
If you don't find it here, tough luck, you sad bastard. Like that's it. It's too bad. So.
Wow. Yeah, I miss those days.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
I bought so much. I used to go to when I lived in Atlanta, I'd go the one on North Druid Hills, the Target North Druid Hills.
Yep.
Their movie section was huge.
Yep.
I loved going in that there. And their toy went all the way to the back.
Yep.
Now it's tiny.
Oh, no.
Every time I stop by there, it's so small now.
It's depressing.
It's very depressing.
Yeah, it's like, what do you sell people now? What does a person come in here for now at Target? Because you guys have really expanded your patio furniture section, which I never thought Target would do. Are people really buying more patio furniture than they are movies and video games? Like, is that why are my interests disappearing? My interests are physical media and wintertime, and both of those are gone. And I'm just like, you know what?
Ever shrinking it is. I'm like, why can I can buy a gallon of milk up there, but like this toy that they stick on the thing, sorry, the street date for that is a week from now. Be like, it's on a
why
peg.
Did you put it out?
Be like, I'm like, don't put it out.
Exactly.
I'm like, is this gallon of orange juice? Is this okay if I buy this?
I used to just find something of the same value and just scan it and put it back. It's like, I'm not sitting here putting up with someone who doesn't even know where I got this figure from, much less how to get back to the aisle.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to call this in. Why? Just type in the price and let's go. Why do you care?
That was one of the weirdest transitions for me when we got back from the UK. Was I had gotten used to not having the tax already added on to the price sticker. So I was a lot younger. I knew that there was a tax add-on when I was a little kid, but I wasn't buying as much stuff. When I came back, I was 15. And so I'd gotten used to in my adolescence what I felt was a logical way of doing things. And it's like, well, that says $14.99 on it, but when you get up to the register, they're going to add on a few bucks, and it's like, this is ridiculous.
Damn it.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, Chronically Online says that, hey, if it don't ring up, it's free. That actually is true in one instance for me. I went to a Best Buy back when Best Buy sold movies and everything, which they don't.
I remember that.
Now my God, I hate going to Best Buy now. It's just
it's horrible.
It's
horrible.
depressing.
It's really depressing. It's like, gee, I don't need 15 rows of washing machines. Like, I don't know what you guys are doing.
How about a fridge?
Yeah, it's like they still make Blu-rays and DVDs to sell, but we won't sell them. So would you like to come in and look at an iPhone case? And you're like, you know what? F you, I'm out of here. I'm never coming back. And I was in a Best Buy back when they didn't suck. And Melinda and I were looking at, games and everything. And this was back when they still sold strategy guides for video games, which I can understand why they stopped selling those, because I never generally looked at that shelf. But I was walking by that shelf just kind of waiting for Melinda to get done with whatever. And there was this big shrink wrapped hardback book, and the spine said Tomb Raider on it. And I was like, what? And I pulled it out, and it was the premium game guide for the relaunched 2013 game, and it came with like a replica of the pendant and like on a leather leather with whatever, and it was packed in there, and then it had this hardback book, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. I'm going to buy this. I'm walking away with this. And it was several years old at that point, so I thought it would at least be on discount. I walked up to the register. It didn't ring up. The manager came over. He wasn't mad. He was a really cool guy. He was like, oh, that's weird. He goes, this must have been something somebody found that they never gifted and then brought back. And somebody must have put it back on the shelf, but we can't sell it anymore because we don't exist for it. And I was like, oh, man. And he goes, well, it's yours now. And I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, take it.
I'm like, am I being punked?
Yeah, I was like, am I going to walk through those doors and get arrested? Like, he's like, no. He's like, we can't sell it. I said, normally you guys throw it in it. He goes, it's a book and it's in great shape and you want it. There's no reason I'm going to junk it. That's ridiculous.
Found an angel that day.
Yeah. He got his wings that day. Like I was like,
I have had the opposite happen.
Oh.
Where they're like, I'm sorry, that's not ringing up. We cannot sell this to you. I'm like, why? Can't you just make a price or something if it's not on the system? And they're like, no, we have to put it in an incinerator. I'm like, what? Why? Why would you throw something valuable like that away? And literally, they would not sell it to me.
Yeah. First of all, Zoe, I lived in Weybridge in Surrey in England. Just to answer your question. That happened to me when I worked at Toys R Us, Drew. This lady, this old lady, this was 1997. 97. This lady brought in a mint, I mean dead mint in box turtle sewer playset. Mint. And I'm sitting there looking over, and even though turtles weren't like collectible yet because they had just left toy stores like a year or two before, like they finally had ended their run or whatever it was, or maybe they were still limping along at that point. I can't remember. I think they ended in 96, but anyway, I was like, wow. And they had to she still had the faded receipt and they had never gifted it or whatever, and so they had to run some reports and call an office and do a thing and get her the original price and whatever, and to put it in the computer and cancel it out and all that kind of stuff. And one of the girls that I worked with, she put it back on the action figure aisle, but it was supposed to go in the back because they had no SKU to actually sell it. It was not in the system anymore.
Right.
So this guy who I worked with at the same time, there's always that one guy who's like Milton, who's really frustrating, and he's just like an asshole all the time. He's like, you want to look at him and be like, this is why you're alone.
Right.
He kept putting it back in the back because it was supposed to be destroyed. Right. Well, she kept seeing it and going, what the hell? And she would put it back out. I think she wasn't stupid. She saw a mint, beautiful toy, and she was putting it back out on the shelf. It was closing time. We'd already closed up, and we were cleaning and straightening all the aisles. You had to go through and do that.
Go and face them all.
Yeah, you have to face them. Yeah, thank you. I couldn't remember the term. And they had an encounter in that aisle where he was like, damn it. He's like, why are you putting this back here? And she's like, because it's a perfectly good toy. And he's like, no. He's like, there's no SKU for it. We can't sell it. She's like, but that's ridiculous. We can't just throw it away. And he grabbed the guy was like, he was built like a brute. He was built like, some sort of extra in some third-rate He-Man action figure line. And he grabbed the box and he crunched the perfect corners with his fingers and ripped the box apart.
What?
I kid you not. He literally ripped the box apart like a phone book and then threw all the parts in the baggies and the box in the cart and was just like, what are you going to do now? And I was just standing there saying nothing, just like, what are you going to do now? You could have absconded with it out and sold it for money. It was nuts. It was nuts.
Maybe he just really hated turtles.
Pizza time,
pizza,
or ninjas, or mutants. Yeah. Teenagers, probably.
Cowabunga.
Clearly not the right job for him.
Yeah, clearly not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you lived in Stoke-on-Trent? That's awesome. I know Stoke-on-Trent. Zoe, when did you live in Stoke-on-Trent? I would love to know. What year? Obviously, it's going to be a lot later for me because you're a lot younger than me. I know that. I'm not implying anything. I'm just curious.
I was there too.
Michael's like, who's Trent?
Immediately suspicious. Oh,
Hey,
hi, Zoe.
I think it was 2018.
Oh,
I was
okay.
there. Yeah, I
Nice.
studied abroad for 6 months, but
Oh,
at
wow.
the university
duck.
there.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
I
great.
did that
'Cause
too. Then I married her.
You missed me. You and I missed each other in England by a few months because I finally went back in September of the next year for 2 weeks.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I want to go back, but Michael doesn't really like to travel. So
Michael,
Just sedate him.
hold on.
Wait,
There's
didn't he go
no
to
shade.
Tampa?
There's no shade here, but I'm about to ask you a question. Is it that you, and I mean this sincerely with no attempt to belittle you in any way, do you not like travel or do you not like flying?
Well, I flew for the first time to Joe Fest this year, and I hated that.
You hated
Because
it.
I got my first time flying, and I got on a delay, like an 8-hour delay.
That's post 9/11 air travel for you. That's just if you had been in the halcyon glory days of pre 9/11 flight as I was blessed to experience, you would have been like, oh, flying, it's wonderful. Okay, so you don't like flying. Is that the part you don't like, or is it all of it?
I don't know. I just grew up. I have 4 siblings, so we just never traveled. It was too expensive.
Okay, what would it take to get you to enjoy traveling?
I don't know.
Let me give you one suggestion because it's worked for me my whole life. All right. For our generation of guys, you got to, especially us pop culture guys, you got to tap into something that makes it kind of exciting and whatever, makes you feel prepped, right? So I kid you not, when I travel on an airplane, I always bring a stylish hat with me. And I always wear, I kid you not. And then when I get in the airplane, and Melinda gets ticked at me about this, not because of the hat, but because Melinda hates flying, right? So I will sit there and I'll get in my seat because I grew up my earliest memories of seeing anyone travel in the air was when Harrison Ford got in that seaplane in Raiders, and then he looked out at the window, adjusted his tie, sat back, and put that hat over his eyes and went to sleep. And that's how I visualized flying in a plane was supposed to be. So that's how I've always been. I went to sleep on the airplane before I ever knew Melinda. I was flying to France for the internship in college at the Cannes Film Festival. I fell asleep in my seat in the Atlanta Gateway before we even pulled away from the gangplank, whatever you want to call it, the tunnel, whatever, gangplank, whatever you want to call it, blah, 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 blah. That thing, the tunnel that moves, the accordion, Geppetto's thing, but you walk through it. That thing. I fell asleep in that chair. I did not wake up until a flight attendant woke me up in Nice, France, and said, I kid you not, this is not an exaggerated story. It's absolutely 100% true. And she said, she was a British Airways flight attendant, and she says, we've arrived. I'm so sorry. The man next to you, when we brought meals around, he said he looks deep asleep, and he recommended I not wake you. And I was like, he did the right thing. That was fine. That's cool. Because it made the flight so short. I'm just saying, get yourself a good hat and then just kick back. And then, oh, you're going to look so cool. You're going to know you look cool. And then you're going to fall asleep.
And not one of those.
Good hat and the airport bar.
That too.
And a lot of Dramamine.
Oh, gosh. Come on.
I feel like he would be good if England was his first.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
because you don't have to worry about
different.
language barrier.
Michael, 3.5. Basically, you watch, the 3 good Indiana Jones movies, and you're almost there.
Yeah.
like from your seat
Well,
back. That's what I did this past trip. I was like,
And
Leslie
and-
went,
Yeah, I think my flight
and
from
I'm like,
Detroit
yeah,
was
and
only
you
like
get there,
5 hours.
you get there, and they speak your language. Even if some of them have accents that might be a little bit harder to understand, but at least they're speaking your language. And sure, they drive on the other side of the road, but you're not going to have to worry about that because you'll have transportation already arranged. Because the transportation in England is excellent, like trains, underground systems, like they're all top notch. It's it's bliss. So
Well, at this point, I can
So
just
nice.
listen to your Dial of Destiny review, and I'll probably be there.
yeah, you actually could actually. I bet you if you watched Indiana Jones and the Last Hurrah, the hour and a half Hasbro thing that we did, and then you watch the Dial of Destiny review, most of your flight will be over, but based on the way this is looking, yeah. But
7 hours.
I guarantee you they'll be better than the actual last two movies.
Dude, I just found out that Mahler has a review of Multiverse of Madness that is 5 hours 50 minutes long, and I'm like,
wow.
okay, I'm in good company here. That video has 3 million views. I'm thinking, all right, I'm in really good company now, because clearly the whole thing of, oh, we only need to do shorts, it's like bullshit. People are watching 6-hour videos, like, you know,
Hungry for documentary.
yeah.
Yeah. We want quality, not quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you know,
Zoe, get him a hat, like a cool
Yeah.
hat.
I don't. You used to be a hat guy.
with a feather.
Not that
Not
kind
that kind of hat,
that
though.
kind of hat.
What kind of hat do you wear?
It was like a baseball cap. I used to wear baseball caps.
I
Look,
know.
there's nothing wrong with baseball caps. There's nothing wrong with them, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Should I wear my Boba Fett helmet?
No. Hey, okay, look. It doesn't have to be an Indiana Jones or dress fedora. You know what it can be? Maybe this is more your speed. I'm being dead serious. What about like an Alan Grant style hat, like a Jurassic Park hat, multi-purpose style hat, like that? Also wide brim, goes down everywhere. Dude, I'm telling you. You say Boba Fett helmet, and I'm going to look at you and say, no, this is the way. All right? Like,
I don't know if he'd make it through security with that thing on his head.
not the Boba Fett helmet. I'm talking about the more like, you know, like it's like the hat that the Alan Grant or Muldoon wore. It's something Australians would wear, you know, when they're out in the back.
Well, we'll just have Tony send him one.
Yeah.
And then we'll book a flight to Australia.
I'm not saying go to Australia. I'm just saying.
No, that's what I heard. That's all I needed to hear.
Oh, okay.
I got the permission. That's what I collect is plane tickets. There we go.
Zoe's
We
gonna
got it.
make Michael's favorite meal,
Mhm.
and then he's gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, no, I'll just put a little bit of something in it to get him. Yeah.
I'm just Zoe knows what I'm saying when I tell you, man, that like when you're standing in like an actual 1,000-year-old castle and like you're looking out over that battlement and you're like, this thing's 1,000 years old. This castle is 1,000 years old, and people who were cooler than me were standing on this thing, probably with their teeth rotting out, defending it against somebody else right before the Black Plague showed up.
General directional.
Yeah. You know, like that. It's got a cachet to it. You know, like one of the things I'm going to do when I go back next year is I'm filming segments for my Robin Hood documentary, and one of the things I'm going to go to is I've already pinpointed. They've got the location kind of marked, not marked physically, but you know, the internet has found everything. That point at Hadrian's Wall where Kevin Costner fights off Guy of Gisborne's men in the beginning of Prince of Thieves, save Wolf, who's in the tree. I know exactly where that spot is, so that's where I'm going to go to film an entire narration segment of my documentary. It's that kind of stuff that you just can't get here.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Hadrian's Wall.
Hadrian's effing wall.
Yeah.
Plus the food's awesome.
And
my
things
gosh,
have
it is,
come
but it
from-
gets kind of bland sometimes.
What's bland?
The food.
Oh, look. We're not. You don't go to England for the cuisine.
No.
Yeah, you do.
don't.
You go to England. Well, you and I do, Scuba.
Okay.
But a lot of people aren't built like us.
Mm.
Well, Michael would love the cuisine there. It's very
Dude,
plain. And it works.
You're not getting out of this. I mean,
But
war
we
museums.
can't leave the dog.
I've got 5 cats. Melinda and I are going to England next year for 2 weeks.
Sounds like
Tell
we're
me
coming.
another one.
You
All right,
can
I'll
get a
bill
nice
you.
dog sitter.
I love you to death, Michael, and I'm gonna ship this until it sinks. I don't care what I have to do for Zoe's benefit. I'm gonna keep trying to convince you because you know how the South Park guys sang it. You know, now you're a man. Now you're a man. Get on that plane, go somewhere.
His grandmother is from England too.
What the fuck?
Oh,
She won't go back there though. So
Why?
Yeah, she's a full Brit.
but
She won't go back? Why?
She's too nervous. If it's changed too much.
Yeah.
Well, that depends on where you go. And you've never been there before, so you don't know if it's changed or not. Like when I go back next year, I'll know that when I see Big Ben, I'll be like, oh, they've really cleaned it up, but it doesn't look like it did for the last 150 years the way I saw it growing up. You know,
I didn't even get to see it. It was all covered in scaffolding
it was,
when I was there.
it was for us in
Mm.
2019 too. That's why we're going back. So
It's glorious
yeah,
now.
see, I need
Oh.
to go back too.
you can't say God Save the Queen anymore because
We spent Easter Sunday
Mhm.
right on the
That's
the
different.
Thames and Big Ben,
Yeah.
Parliament, and then
Yep.
over to Churchill's War Room. Oh,
Uh-huh.
it was a great day.
Oh, Imperial
Perfect
War
weather.
It was gone.
Imperial War
Total
Museum.
celebration.
Yeah.
I don't care. If that's
I
what
got-
gets you there.
Imperial
Big Ben
War-
chiming 12 times on Easter Sunday. I was like,
Yep.
I'm like,
the
Listen to
tower
that.
or the figure that we started the stream with.
The figure.
The what? The what? Oh, Big Ben. Yeah.
That's funny. Full circle.
There's.
Circle.
Big Ben, Parliament. I just can't get over it.
Do you like fish and chips?
Yeah.
Shit, dude.
Oh,
I know. There's no
That's
reason
so
not to
good.
go.
there's chippies everywhere.
Gotta
Our
go.
dog's getting into something.
Like it was just swimming like a few hours ago, and now it's in the chippy.
Look, man, I am telling you all this to tell. I'm not at all trying to make you feel this big. I'm trying to make you feel like go, do it. He's giving me the silent like I'm just gonna resist.
No, our dog's upstairs getting into something now.
Uh-oh.
Into something?
Trouble.
Yeah, she
I've
opened
never
the basement
been.
door and left.
I've never been either. I want to go though. One day, I'm gonna go. I like the history though. I
Yeah.
love the history of the different aspects of England and
Mhm.
Europe in general.
All the
Yeah.
history, none of the language barriers. It's like
Yeah.
that's the both
It's
worlds.
perfect.
Melinda's always like, we should go to Sweden. And I'm like, why? There's so much left of England to see. And she's like, wow, but they speak English in Sweden. I'm like, right, but it would be us not speaking their language. And I'm a little self-conscious about that. And then she's like, oh my God. I'm like, oh, but I'm joking with her. I want to take her places that she wants to go. But at the same time, I'm like, but that trip could be another trip to England, which is like the greatest place on earth. And she's like, oh my God. She likes England.
But
You can totally hear
VT
her saying it like that.
yeah, oh my god. VTR, Vintage Toy Rush, Dave's wife Camilla is from Sweden. So they're there now, and we totally have an in. So
Yeah.
she could be our translator.
Yes.
Plus she likes it when I make up like bullshit Swedish, like that's a Flirkenhergen. And she's like, stop it.
Fish.
And here's Jeremy Jernigan saying he got kicked out of a castle in Germany for climbing the walls. Were you a kid or was it like 2 years ago? Because the bet is 50-50 for me on which.
Right? Yeah, I feel like it was last week.
It was, yeah.
Jeremy Jernigan traveling to other countries like a typical American.
Just said that wall. I need to climb it.
Yeah. It's all right. He's an American.
Oh, God. Oh, this is why I love doing this. This is why I do streams. I don't really care about the
Didn't you buy some
topic.
Marvel Legends that you were going to talk about?
Yeah.
I think the name of Jeremy's autobiography.
All right there. And right there.
Nice.
Jeremy's autobiography is what?
I think the title of Jeremy's autobiography should be A Yank in the Chain. You were
thought it would be-
32. You
Oh,
got kicked out of a castle at 30. Oh, was it?
I'm
Was there?
32.
Please tell me you had thrown a few back before you started Joe, and please don't tell me you were like pretending you were Aragorn or some shit. Like I don't. I just do Lord of the Rings. What do you want me to do? You know, like
I am the last one.
oh God. Yeah.
No, he just got off a Dragonheart bender.
Oh, George. Why do you have to tease me with Mr. Whippy? I miss
know
it.
that's not fair, man.
Oh,
We
I
don't
can
have
taste it.
Mr. Whippy here. Michael, do you like ice cream?
Yes.
You.
My body would
There's only
disagree
one
with me,
answer.
but
Look, we're not talking about what our bodies do. Do you like ice cream? Does your tongue like ice cream?
yes.
You've
Mr.
got-
Whippy.
If you don't have a genuine Mr. Whippy before you die, I think your soul is going to have to come back for a repeat.
It's
Like, I
heaven
don't-
on a
I don't
cone.
think you ticked all the boxes.
It's proof God loves us.
Yeah.
Mr. Whippy.
That's right. It's the only good thing Margaret Thatcher did for us.
Oh,
Okay, I'm going to read this, but Athena says, if I can't have the chicken wing bones, I will squeak my toy for attention.
Yeah,
Oh.
she's running around down here with a ball, squeaking it.
Oh, we're talking about the dog. Okay, good.
Yep. The dog.
I was like, oh, who's Athena? And is this
Not
now
the
an open relationship?
Not the Greek goddess.
Zeus, Apollo. Work the lock. Don't look at the dogs. You looked at the
Really,
dogs.
Jeremy? Really?
Bad design if you.
Can
Or good design.
you know, Jeremy, about 80 years ago in Germany, if you were an American climbing walls, they wouldn't just tell you to get down and kick you out. They would shoot you.
Yeah.
I appreciate your Steve McQueen reflexes, but maybe not in, the 21st century. Wait, Scott, what are you? Do not dissuade MVargo from traveling.
Clearly, we need to do a group travel event to England. That's what we need to
A
do.
number of people that I have met in my life, including my own wife, who are afraid of flying, baffles me. Like,
Oh, I'm not afraid of flying. Afraid of falling. But
what are you, Brody from Jaws? I heard you're afraid of water. What's it called? Drowning. Although I do sympathize with Brody on that. Yeah, we do need to go to Port Hedland.
We do.
Oh man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hell
I
yeah.
go to Port Hedland.
welcome back, Tony.
Well then, Scott, why are you saying you're with MVargo? What are you with him on then?
What?
Don't vague book this. What are you with
Don't
him
vague
on? What are you with him on? Is it about the chicken bones? Like, what is it about? Like,
Maybe it's the ice cream not agreeing with him. I don't know.
well,
Are you
That-
lactose?
that may be true. Oh, well, that may be. Maybe he has an underlying health condition.
So he's barely left Ohio.
Ohio. Please. What other states have you been to? Oh God, he had to think about it.
I was in Georgia last
Yeah,
year.
I was like,
and this year.
Georgia?
We drove to Texas when I was 10.
Okay.
All right, so you hit quite a few.
Pennsylvania.
Is there something about being a Buckeye that makes you not want to leave that little amorphous square?
I don't know. We got a fresh water lake just north of us.
Uh-huh. Look, I appreciate the whole Jeremiah Johnson attitude you're taking towards this. I really do. I have everything I need right here. I have my water. I have my grizz. I've got my log cabin. I'm good. But I've got my Action Force figures. I think that's great. Like, does the door to your house hang on leather straps? Like, I don't know. Like, what?
I don't know. I just did. I grew
We
up
have
in-
2 theme parks and down to earth values.
Hey, Scott. Where internationally have you gone? it's it's easy to say you don't care about something.
I just didn't grow up in a household that traveled. It was just not something that was
We did-
ever any emphasis.
We
placed
didn't
on.
either. My father was forcibly moved by his job, so I sympathize with you on that. My dad never even took us on vacations when we lived in the United States. Like on both ends, he was not a traveler. He was a Memphian, and that was about it. Look how personal this Drew G stream is getting. I'm going
Right.
to ruin this whole channel right
Hey,
now.
In a very special Drew G.
Yeah, I'm not so worried about flying. It's just getting through Atlanta traffic to get to it. That's the scary part.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Hey, look at the end of the day. But see, that's the thing. Even if I know the wildlife is dangerous, I'm gonna feel like I'm dressed for it, and that's all that really matters to me. I'm dressed for it. The pictures of my corpse will be glorious. They will make the news. They'll be like, an American tourist died today, but he was dressed like Indiana Jones, and it was incredible.
Magical.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Florida.
Scott. Yeah. I think. Okay.
Awesome shot. Crikey.
These are dangerous animals. They stress easily, and if you're not careful, they could die. Watch me poke this rhino with a stick.
You're right. You're right.
Poised, ready to strike.
I used to have those action figures. I used to have that one and his wife. And then I sold them for some reason. I still had the packaging and everything.
Used to have a speaker button on it, but yeah, this is actually my brother's when he was younger. But
now they're not like exorbitantly expensive, I don't think, but they're kind of stupid expensive for what they are. Like you see them now and you're like, what the hell? Like for the crocodile hunter? Like,
I mean, it's pretty cool to have. It's a good likeness for the time.
But his face, he's like, oh.
Crocky.
I mean, that's the face he always made.
Yep. It's the face of justice. In fact, I'm going to look that up right now. I'm not going to buy them, but I just want to see how much they go for.
I punched a swan once. Croc is basically a swan. I'd be fine.
Danger, danger, danger. Okay. Oh, see, look. Crocodile Hunter set of 3, $120 or best offer, but they are mint on card. So I guess there's that.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
That's a lot for Stever.
Tony, you can come back in here if you want.
$40 buy it now for Terry Irwin. Oh no, wait, here's one for $18.99. That's a little more reasonable. Wait a minute, what is this? They actually made the truck?
Okay, you're gonna have to share your screen again.
I wonder if this truck fits the figures or if it's a different scale. I can't tell.
Do you want to share your screen?
I'm not sharing with you. No, I'm kidding. Hold on.
Back off.
Here we go. So this is. Did it work? There it is.
Sure.
I can't tell if that. It says it's 18 inches long, so that could fit the figures, but I don't know. Because the figures are like what, 6 inch?
That seems too big.
Whoa.
Well, I
don't know. I'm making a joke, but
$130.
Sheesh.
I need to know how that out. Wait, there it is. Oh, it is for the figures. Holy crap!
Nice.
Holy crap!
And no, I need this.
Right?
Oh my gosh. Danger, danger, danger. It's actually got a cloth canvas back on it and everything. How did I not know? Oh my god!
Oh my gosh!
Dang
Now I
it.
want one. I didn't know they made a truck.
I didn't either. This is the danger of eBay.
Right?
They've made a truck, and this toy does look like Steve Irwin is getting really personal with a crocodile. I think this was a bad move, but never mind. I'm gonna ride right past that. Ooh, God, there's Steve Irwin. There's Steve Irwin and Terry Irwin pull string dolls.
Oh.
That is creepy. Can you see this on the screen? I'm bringing this up. This is creepy. Hold
It's
on.
still the eBay listing.
Yeah. Don't you worry. I'm about. Oh, here we go. Here's the nightmare fuel for you. Check out this nightmare fuel. Ready?
Jeremy just bought the truck. It's gone.
Ah!
Oh, hello.
Did he really just buy that truck? Look at. I'll pull up some more photos in here. Look at this.
Wow.
Re.
This reminds me of. I'm like having flashbacks of something from like the 80s of like live action here, where it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's like a real human head with. I think it's Ernest when he did the head person, where it was a fake body but with his head.
Right.
That's what I'm getting vibes of here.
Oh, so
Yeah.
creepy. That's nightmare fuel right there.
Just
I can't fall asleep. Steve is staring at me. You're all right. Stop saying that.
See, because here's the thing. Those few people that actually think the 6-inch Indiana Jones series is really cool, if they find out about that truck, it's going to like...
Don't tell Laser Pants.
Light up the Outback.
Light up the Outback.
I want to see if I can find... I wonder if that truck came in a box.
Randall, it looks like he's getting a prostate exam.
Wait. Okay, so there's two versions.
Hey, Tim.
There's actually a version of this truck that's radio controlled, but I don't know. I guess it can accommodate figures. The thing is that the figures have that really, really wide sitting stance.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure that they would work real well. Yeah, okay. But there is like one truck that looks like it could possibly accommodate figures. Jeez.
Scott Hughes just sent me something. I got to try to figure out how to pull it up on my computer to show.
George says Tony should have bought it instead of the Humvee.
Yeah, Impossible Pie. These toys were out when Steve Irwin was alive. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Scott.
Ooh, 65. Now that's
this
appealing.
is the radio controlled one, so it doesn't have the same proportions, and it I don't know if
Sorry, I got a slow computer.
You have a
He
slow
sent it to
computer?
me in Messenger. Yeah.
Oh, you and that Messenger, you've got some real challenges there with the.
I really do. I'm still waiting on this. See, I can't even see the StreamYard stream right now. Except on my tablet. So.
I'm looking up Crocodile Hunter MOC, and a damn Marvel Legends Craven MOC comes through. What? I'd have Steve Irwin poke that guy with a stick. This is a Craven. They're a dangerous animal.
Really?
They're sort of a third-rate villain in Marvel Comics. If you're not careful, they could die. but they're comic books, so they always come back.
Trying to pull this up has frozen my screen. I bet I can hear everyone.
Yeah, we can hear you. Now he's gone. He's crashed the stream.
I like the awkward silence. Randall, you think the scuba diving Steve Irwin is creepy? Check out the one that's just riding on the back of the crocodile, because it doesn't look like he's riding on it. It looks like he's having some alone time with the crocodile.
So welcome to Drew's channel. Sans Drew.
I'm not Drew. He's not Drew. And he's not Drew.
Let me see here. I'm gonna.
Craven has gotten Drew.
Okay, so we've got.
So did Scott send Drew some like malware or something that crashed his computer?
You got to go incognito for those kind of searches, Drew. I've warned you.
This website certificate has been corrupted. Click.
Oops.
Let me see here. Maybe let's see what Mercari has to say about the Crocodile Hunter action figures. Sometimes you find gems.
Every once in a while, I go back to Mercari.
Somebody wants $120 for a carded Steve Irwin on Mercari. What are they smoking?
Why?
Uh-oh, what's going on in Casa de Vargo?
I think Zoe sent you something on Messenger.
Oh. There is no Steve Irwin playset, Jeff. Not that I'm aware of.
But there should be.
There should be. Dang it.
Tree house, underwater, like a coral reef.
Yeah, I bought all of these at the Nature Company or whatever at the time.
Yeah.
Got a mint on card. Kept the cards. Kept all the packages.
Okay, I'm back.
You're back?
Yeah.
So what happened there?
Well, I opened up Facebook to look at the message that Scott sent me, and
Uh-huh.
it crashed my screen.
Oh, that's not good.
Oops.
I don't know. I told him to send it on Instagram. I can share it that way.
IG it, yo.
Hold on. Let me. Pull this up.
Hey, remember that night we lost Michael to that Steve Irwin search? He's like, I spent 7 hours that night.
Yeah.
Oh,
There it is.
that is an unfortunate choice.
So that's what crashed me.
Kind of reminds me of that C-3PO tape dispenser from the 80s.
Makes it all worth it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, all that for that picture. Yes, I noticed none of them come with a stingray though.
Well, no. Yeah, that would be really unfortunate. And because see, like, yeah, so there's one mint on card Steve Irwin right now it's $45, and that's too much. Like, I'm not gonna pay $45 for Steve Irwin. Like, no offense, may he rest in peace. I don't mean it like that, but I love the guy. But $45. I mean, like, no.
Yeah, be like 20.
Yeah, but that truck though.
Oh,
Now watch. Tony's gonna come back with that truck in like a week and be like,
yeah.
"Those
Tony,
with action for us."
He's gonna have a. He's got. He'll be like, I found a warehouse full of them.
yeah. He'll be like, He'll be like, so I've heard that the truck is in a parcel in Perth. It should be here in 2 or 3 days. I'll pick it up from my postal box, and then I'll review it.
Oh Lord!
That's what.
I just know he's gonna buy it.
What's that?
I said I just know he's gonna buy it.
I wouldn't blame him. I mean, it looks like a good thing to take a bet on. I just don't know what the exact scale is. It says it's 18 inches long, but I don't know the scale of the figures, nor, I wish I could find the truck in a. You know what, Michael? You're being stupid. What you need to do is type in. Okay, I've got.
How much was the croc humping figure?
Oh my god! You want that for below your flag, don't you?
I'm not pulling it back up.
Well, no. In a weird twist, it actually reminds me of the very first night that I was on duty at the aquarium in engineering.
Oh, really?
And yes, and a biologist who was also on duty said, "Come with me." And I was like, "Who are you?" And she was like, "I'm so and so with husbandry. Come on." And I was like, "Okay." And we actually got into the gator display, and it was about a 5-foot gator had busted its nose. So she was like, "Okay, I need you to sit on the back half of the gator. I'll take the business end and put some salve on the nose." And I was like, "Wow, this escalated quickly." I'm like, I'm now sitting on the back end of a gator. I'm like, and I've only been at work for like 4 hours. Okay, cool.
That's that is not a useless experience. That is one you carry with you forever.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're the same size as Valaverse figures, so.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Well. Then there's a good bet that truck might accommodate Valaverse figure. Might. We don't have any guarantee.
Might. We need someone with a substantial income. Maybe someone that
take a chance.
That does super chats like all the time and can just afford that.
Tony's the one that's creating a company.
I make maybe $15 a day if I don't put out a new video, so it won't be me.
Yeah, me neither. Drew, can you change Steve's head on a Marvel Legend or an Action Force? I don't know. You can't. His head is all one piece with his neck.
One mold.
Yeah.
The turn is at the.
Yep.
That was an unfortunate noise. Okay.
But yeah, it is. I mean, it's a decent figure for the time and what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, it was. Yeah,
And
I
that truck
really
doesn't look too bad.
no. I wish I'd known about it. I'd have bought it back then for what, $19.99 or whatever it would have been. So
About when it was on sale.
yeah, right.
Now I want to see Steve Irwin with Desert Rat shotgun in that truck. Like they're headed out.
Oh yeah. It's no longer about conservation.
Yeah.
It's about survival.
Steve Irwin's back. This time he means business. Crocodile Hunter.
Yeah. If you're not careful, they could die from me.
From me.
Stingrays go first.
Oh.
It's amazing. It's amazing that he was like, I'm not getting lofty here. I'm still talking about the toys, so don't worry. It's just amazing that he generated this kind of merchandise at the time. Like, that's crazy to think about.
Scott, you send me another picture. I'm just going to show it on the screen from my phone. That's a Steve Irwin picture.
Next to the truck. Man. See, if the Steve Irwin is as big as an Action Force figure, you've got yourself an Outback truck.
Yeah.
Or 6-inch
That
big.
is pretty cool.
You're welcome, everyone.
Yeah.
Is that the same truck, or is that look
Yeah,
like a
that's the
different
same
color?
truck. The same truck.
Yeah, because
okay.
he's just blocking the logo.
Yep.
Oh, I thought the other one had.
It's
more
got
of
the
a
snorkel
khaki
exhaust.
There's an RC version of the car, but it actually doesn't have as good of proportions. And I don't know if it
Okay.
accommodates the figures. So buyer beware. Like there's one right here that's the RC version. And it does have an open roof. So theoretically, you might be able to get a figure in there, but I just don't know. I'm not confident of that. Because the car,
Cool, Randall.
this truck looks stumpier. Oh, there's a review of our truck by our. Oh, okay.
I know where I'm headed after this.
Is Tony still in the chat, or I haven't seen him say anything for a little bit since I crashed. I think he left the stream when I did. So,
Uh-oh, who brought the dog? It's Athena. Give me a treat. Dad.
oh, he is still here. Tony, is this something you're gonna get? It's winning me over.
Yeah, just remember there's two versions. There's the RC one, and then there's what I feel is some people might disagree with me. They might like the RC versions look better, but I kind of like the more standard wheelbase version more. Here's one that shows a figure standing up in the RC version's cab, but that doesn't show him seated in the cab.
Jeremy.
Well, it's a good thing Jeremy missed the first hour then.
That's why you didn't get the notification.
Well, it seems to scale with the Action Force figures according to the size that Drew just showed with the Steve Irwin. So given that they have better articulation, it may be possible to get them seated in that truck. I don't want to give you false hope. I don't want to be blamed.
But it would be cool.
I don't want to take the blame if you get the truck and you can only stand guys next to it. But it looks Tony just
Strikes back.
oh.
No, Tony's got to get the truck so everybody can ask him where he gets the truck for the next 2 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like the door's open though. It looks like you got to put them in.
You put them in through the top. Yeah, but as a Playmobil guy, I'm totally fine with that. So
yeah.
Besides, trying to get 6-inch action figures like that when they're in the seating position through a doorway just to say you did it, it's like, oh, now my head is up against the A pillar and I can't get in. Oh, I gotta stress mark the A pillar to bend it up to pop them in there. And I'm sold on the whole. Take the roof off, put them in, put the roof back on.
Yep.
Now that Humvee that he's got, it's got plenty of room. Although I think he did say that sometimes you have to take a door off, put the guy in, and then put the door back on. So,
yeah, that is pretty cool. I may have to look around, see if I can find something like that.
Hey, Wolfie.
Wolfie's in the house. I love this. I don't want to. I know we've been going. Wow, 3 hours. Good Lord, I don't want to take up your time. I'm just. If anyone needs to go or anything, you're welcome to. I want to respect your time is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I appreciate that because I just felt the death collar detach around my neck. So thank you for.
You're welcome.
Thank you for letting me leave now.
You got 5 minutes for it reconnects. So.
And then you're here for another 3 hours, right?
Yeah, we're here for a little while longer. We're doing a telethon.
Oh man.
Yeah, I always see some people do these telethons where they're like on for 24 hours, and I'm like, no one's ever gonna rewatch this.
Well, Melinda, she joked with me years ago when I did. it was like the first random live stream I ever did, like just a random one where I had no agenda and I was just, and I went
Just
on
pop
there
on.
and people were just throwing questions at me because it was like the first time I guess I'd ever really done a live stream. And I sat there for like 4.5 or 5 hours just answering questions rapid fire. There were no super chats back then. It was just,
Oh yeah,
boom, 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 boom.
I think I was on
And-
that stream.
Yeah, she kept like bringing me like lunch, and then she kept bringing me like a snack, and then it was a
Dinner
memory.
time. Then she brought him
Yeah.
a pillow.
Yeah, I like Chris Starr, but I'm not going to be doing the video for. Yeah.
Yeah, those were the good old days.
Yeah, they were. The times they are a changing.
Now you
But
have
you
me,
and Ron Burgundy had never heard that song.
and something just fell.
So
Thank
with
you,
that,
Hasbro.
With on that note,
Oh, that was Emma Frost.
I think I'm gonna go eat some din din.
Yeah.
Jeremy, are you saying that you were holding it, or are you saying that you were laughing about to piss yourself? There's two ways to piss yourself. I was holding it for too long, and I couldn't anymore, and then I was laughing too hard. That is the man right there that gave me a piece of the Last Crusade tank.
Yep,
Oh,
that was so cool.
well, I didn't
And-
get one, so I'm gonna kick him. No, I'm
I
just
got to,
kidding.
I got to, I got to see it.
I told him
Wow.
he didn't ask for anything in return, but I told him, I said there was something he was looking for at the show, and I said, just wait and let me do my video on it, and you can have them all. And he was like, what? I'm like, you can have them all. So
Yeah, I got to experience that too when he gave that to you. It was pretty cool.
that was
and
insane.
Tony.
That was insane. That was just insane. It's why I want to completely redo all of my cases, because I want to like get all that on display,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah,
But
go ahead. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's the one thing about when you're collecting and it's not finished collecting. You like have this great display, and then you like get two more items. You're like, I gotta redo this whole room just
Yeah.
to fit these two figures.
Yep. And
Yeah.
that has to move there, which means I got to move that. And
Yeah,
then
and then
yeah.
that's got to
Yep.
move around, and I'm going to deprioritize this line because I
And then
don't
this
stare at it
happens.
as much anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's like, oh, it's an excuse to dust, so I'll do that, you know. But I'm afraid.
Oh, God.
Wow,
Oh,
dang.
She's as cold as ice.
what were you gonna say, Michael? Sorry.
No, I've heard about those ladies with the silver lipstick. Anyway, I'm afraid that if I start rethinking all of my displays to prioritize other stuff like Indy and Tomb Raider and things like that I want to have on display, that suddenly the variety will go away, and I'll just look over and I'll be like, it's Star Wars with some Voltron, a huge Indiana Jones case, 3 shelves of Tomb Raider, and Robotech, and like that'll be it. And I'll be like, oh, how did that end up happening? You know?
Yeah, I took your idea of trying to keep the core line in as your display.
Right.
To like I did that with my Transformers recently. I redid all those shelves back there because there's so many of them.
Yeah,
and
there
I
are.
love them all, but I had to literally box like 3 huge boxes of Transformers. I had to take off the shelf just to make room so it doesn't look too cluttered.
Yeah.
There's like so much space, and if you just have everything up there, then it's just a collage of what do you have?
Oh, I know. And the other reason that I forced myself to keep it this way is because it's like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, where he had the little dioramas he would go grab off the shelf.
Yep.
If I decided to make this everything I really, really love, then I'd constantly be bin diving for things I need for 3 seconds in a video. Whereas right now, most of that stuff,
you can
60% of the time I can just walk over to a case and get it. The other 40% of the time I'm still bin diving, but you know, whatever. So
yeah.
Look, George Aiken just took us full circle from Emma Frost back to Snow Job.
I'll repeat what I said. I've heard about those types that wear the silver lipstick.
Diamond in the rough. If you're an Emma Frost fan, you get that joke.
Oh, I was really thankful that Sal he let me know when he was starting to sell his toy collection, the parts of it.
Yeah.
And he said, I know you've been wanting to do your villains for your X-Men arcade. And he said, of course, Hasbro did the annoying thing, and they finally came out with the classic White Queen, Emma Frost. And what they do, they put her in that stupid
Multi-pack.
multi-pack.
Yeah.
He said, I got that multi-pack at the time, and he's like, I'll hold it for you if you want to buy that. And I'm like, yes, I will buy that. You know, you just tell me what the market price is. I will buy it, you know, whatever. And he did hold it for me. And so now the only
That's
villain
cool.
I don't have now is that $65 blob that I'm hoping will go on clearance or something, because
I'm sure it'll go
yeah.
eventually. I got one of those too.
Mhm.
I've recently picked up, like, I love collecting the comic figures and stuff. Like, I get to actually show some Marvel Legends.
Yeah.
Like, I recently got this guy, which is
Uh-huh.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I got the 2-pack, a couple of the 2-packs. Do not follow me, please. Oh, you're gonna fall, aren't you? Yep. Oh, I didn't fall. Good. Oh, let me grab these 4 right here. I got the Drax,
Uh-huh.
which is really awesome. It's the Drax from the 80s and 90s.
Yep.
Where he was Guardians of the Galaxy. But then they put this Moon Dragon in that is nothing like, I want to say only pictures I can find is from 2 covers
Uh-huh.
of I want to say Guardians of the Galaxy from 2018, 2019.
Why would they
And
do
then-
that?
And then I looked through the comic itself, and she never wears this outfit. So
Right.
I'm
I
like,
think Talker posted something about that, didn't he?
so annoying. Like, I need one, and it should have been the old outfit with the headband and without the
Right.
headband,
Yeah.
so that she can either go with the Defenders or the Avengers. And then I got the 2-pack of this because I like the Secret Wars, and I
Right.
wanted this character really bad. And I like this one, except for the fact that it's got 2 legs that are exact same.
What?
He's got two,
So
got two
it
right
won't ever match
hands,
up.
Wow.
2 right thighs.
Now-
He's doomed. Doomed.
This part is right. This part is the same as this part. So it can never match up. He's doomed to fail. Yes, the pun was meant for laughs, but thank you for the pitied laugh. But yeah, the Hawkeye was great, and there's been a lot of great figures coming out, but I don't know. The Avengers are so hard to get set up as teams. Like this shelf back here,
Right.
is like all my X-Men from like 75 giant size to
Mhm.
80s, the 2 different 80s groups, to the Jim Lee and the original Jim Lee with yellow and blue. And then from there, I just kind of
Mm-hmm.
go after that. I'm not as familiar with the group, so I'm just trying to put them together. But Avengers, it's like it constantly changes from issue to issue. And
Right.
It's so hard to get a pinpointed team because you may have one issue where they're like, and now the team, and then you read the comic and they leave. Two of the characters leave, and you're like, okay, this isn't the full team then. So
Right.
very,
Right.
very confusing. But anyway, I don't know why I got on the tangent there. So how are y'all?
I'm doing fine. I was sorry. I was looking at Jeremy's. He says, Michael, I hit a lot of yard sales and flea markets. I've not forgotten to keep my eyes open for something you mentioned you were looking for. I appreciate that. I can't even remember what I said, but I appreciate that. So I'm sure whatever it is, I'm still looking for it, and I just can't think of it right now because that's the way my life works.
But yeah, I could keep going for hours, but I know y'all are I know some of y'all haven't eaten yet.
Get some grub.
So I actually haven't eaten either, but I gotta go see what's in the fridge because my wife won't bring me anything. She said, "So we just get in for ourselves tonight?" And I go, "Well, you could bring me something." She goes, "Some for yourself, right?"
So you're fending for yourself.
We hear his wife's voice wafted. You can fend for yourself. I will be over here doing my own thing.
She's upstairs with the weenie dogs, curled up,
Okay.
probably watching The Office. That's what.
Well,
I
thanks
guess.
for having me
Go.
on. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anytime.
It's been a blast, dude.
Y'all are always welcome, and I love this. This is what I love doing. I mean,
Yep.
even when I'm in the chat, I'm like, "Oh man, I wish I could chime in right here." But when it's your own show, you can do that. But
When I'm in control, damn it.
yes, damn it, I am in control.
Michael.
You will let me fuck. I will mute you.
Well, in that case, everybody have a great night. Thanks for having me on.
Never mind. You're trapped now. It's 3 more hours.
Scott,
Scott.
the
Well,
peer
Scott-
pressure live streamer.
Scott, I'm sorry. Michael and I can't. We're getting on a plane to England in a few weeks, so we got to prep. So,
Got a pack.
but I will. I will always anticipate the next time you send a link.
And
For
now, I know this is stupid for us to say because everyone watching this stream came from you guys. But I do want to, at least for someone maybe down the line that watches this, goes, okay, so where can I watch these guys?
Who's this Rusty Shackleford?
Michael, where can they find you?
Who's
Who
Rusty?
the F is Rusty Shackleford? I am a channel that purports and susses out all of the evidence about the lizard men reality that we live in. No, my channel is Retro Blasting, and I make videos about toys and pop culture that tend to make people angry, and I've been doing that for 11 years, and the people are still angry, and I'm still making the videos, and I don't know why in either direction. So
You'll
Just a
love
vicious
it.
cycle.
and I sometimes spend time, on high bridges looking out just to look at the scenery, but people get nervous because they think, people on high bridges, and I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm just looking at the scenery because I have nothing better to do, and I don't want to look at you people. So,
Oh God, yes. Go follow Michael. He's a great guy. His work is high quality, and you'll learn a lot about a lot of fun pop culture stuff, some historical stuff, and yeah. And if
I appreciate you saying it's fun.
it is fun.
Because for some people, I've learned that they don't have a funny sense of fun. They have a Chuck E. Cheese sense of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh.
I've always enjoyed your show, even if I'm not like interested in the actual
Mm-hmm.
topic. Watching it, I
I
am
learned
interested.
something.
Hey, I got a secret. I'll share it right now. You know why I make a lot of those videos fun? Because most of the time, when it comes to certain topics, like if you see me like really jump to the left or right or whatever, not politically, meaning, just directionally, because I have my lanes. We all have our lane, right?
Right.
But every now and then, if I jump out and I do something that's really like, whoa, most of the time I'm making it fun because I'm not interested in the topic either. So I'm trying to energize it with something that, gives it some life,
Some zest.
Yeah. But trust me, Bionic 6 ain't never interested. Is Master Son in the chat? Because otherwise,
I haven't seen him tonight. I have not seen him tonight. I wish he was here. He might be at PowerCon too. Who knows?
he's gonna have to get to the 3.5 hour mark to hear that.
Right?
We're back.
You just gotta send him a message.
Oh
and
yeah,
say,
I'm
hey,
with you. Yes.
just send him a message and say, "Hey, you'll be interested in this stream."
So,
Tell him you
there's
when.
a landmine at the end. Tell him.
Oh gosh.
MVargo, Michael MVargo.
Yep.
Where can people find you? You just got to start up your own YouTube channel. Got some content on there, a tour, and
Yep, a couple small things. Kind of figuring out what I actually want to do. So
that's
it's a
what
work
you
in
should call
progress.
it. Figuring it out.
Maybe travel videos.
Yes. Yes. I was gonna make this the title of my autobiography, but I feel like I should give it to Michael right now for his channel. You should just call it "Not for Lack of Trying." Like, you know, don't know what I want to do, but I'm figuring things out. No, but in all seriousness, man, you'll find that you will constantly shift and switch. We all do when we're making content. Like, you know, a few years there you're doing this, and then before you know it, you're doing something else, and you're fine with it. But your audience has really noticed, and they're like, "Hey, when are you going to do that thing you used to do?" And I'm like, "I'm still doing it." They're like, "Yeah, but the format used to be a little different." And it's like, okay, do you still eat the same bowl of Fruit Loops every morning? Oh, you do. All right, got it.
Yeah, we're trying different things on my channel. So I've got my collection tour video up there.
Nice.
I did a video of some of my Kit Bash Action Force figures.
Yep.
Saw that one.
Good stuff.
Some people dislike that one. I don't know why, but
you got exclusive figures up there right now. You're showing off.
They can.
I might put something up about Series 3.1 since I've got that, and other people aren't going to be able to get that.
One of the first.
Yep.
People that don't like the kit bashes, they can stuff it.
Yep.
Because most of the toys that are out there right now, they're only good for the parts that are in the box.
Yep.
You know, what was that toy line I was? It was when I did that video about Black Series. Most of your Black Series stuff now is just you as a poor bastard who likes Star Wars trying to collect enough Black Series to then pop the parts off and swap and make the correct figures because Hasbro just can't seem to get around to doing it.
Yep.
But that's pretty much what I do on the 3POA podcast Facebook group a lot. So that's probably where you'll find me the most. So,
and in the chat.
And in the chat.
Yep.
And in the chat.
All of us in the chat. What about you,
Good
Scuba?
You can find me on Chasing 80s Toys and Leslie and I's channel, The Scubas, which, again, we have like one video. There's a few in the works. They need to be edited.
You know
That's
what?
not my thing.
That's editing's not your thing, and that's a spare time
Yeah.
channel as well. It's not a it's like a Dukes of Hazzard reunion special. It's not the show, it's the special that comes every few years. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. See? You stay where you are, see.
And he's a moderator in any live chat you find. So
yep, you can also find me on Instagram.
Yes.
Scuba.
Well, like you, MVargo, I have no clue what to do with my channel either. So live streaming seems to just be fun. I just put stuff up, whatever I feel the urge to do that day, because YouTube goes, screw your algorithm. I'm going to show it to 5 people.
Just give your take on things, and trust me, 2 things will happen. You will get your truth out there, and you will piss people off. Guaranteed. Both. And you know what? I was always told the truth sets you free. I don't know if that's true or not. I feel like I was swindled on that one. But
yeah.
But yeah, I do like this feel for live stream. I didn't want to be like a 3POA or anything. I just, I always feel like I got to have a topic, like you said earlier in the stream. Also, I keep touching my nose because I feel like I'm going to sneeze. So forgive me for that.
No problem.
But
snow job.
That's what I really got to
I've actually been accused because of all my allergies and hair from Sasha, my cat, always hanging around my nose. I've actually been accused sometimes. People have said they think I have a drug problem because
Yeah, you're sniffing.
or whatever, and I'm like, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm also ADD, so what were we talking about? No, this feel of just being able to just talk
Yeah, hang out.
about anything and just hanging out. Like
Mhm.
I feel like that may be where this channel just goes, just to hang out. And some days I'll have topics, and maybe
Yeah.
I'll get $300 Star Wars finds.
This was a much better way for me to spend my night than the way I spent the last 2 nights. The last night, 2 nights ago, I spent the night watching Day of the Jackal. And then the next night, I spent the evening watching Get Carter with Michael Caine. And even though those are 2 very good movies, they are very depressing and very dystopian, and they really don't give you a good outlook on the world. And tonight, I was going to end up watching another old movie, you know, that was probably going to send me down that path again. And then your link came in, and I was about to I heard you had Tony on and Michael and Scuba, and I was like, he's got a full complement. I was about to put that disc in, and I was like, but what's more important? Too many people on having just enough people on a live stream so that you can possibly go like cry in the corner, or
Come
adding
hang out.
one extra person on the live stream too many so that maybe you don't hit yourself with a brick tonight. And I'm like, I think I know what I need to do.
Good
I
choice.
appreciate you coming on. All of y'all. It's awesome. Any chance you get. I did one stream with no one can come on, and it's the lowest viewed live stream I've had. Still,
I've done that before. I did the one. What was the stream I did? Crap. Oh, it was about the crowd funds. I went on and did a whole stream about the crowd fund situation with the cats, not the Cat's Lair. Oh crap! What was it? It was the Hasbro Ghost and the Jurassic Park gates. And I was on there by myself, and I was just like, you know what? I'm by myself, so I'm just gonna bring the anger. That's what I'm gonna do.
I think I watched that one.
Yeah, I just sat there and I was just like, I'm going to keep my energy up just by reminding myself every second how much I hate Hasbro. And I'm just, and it fueled me for an hour 50. So
Yeah, it was almost 2.
yeah.
Well, I don't know how many people. I have the free StreamYard, so I don't know how many people I can actually have on the stream. I know it goes up if you pay the.
Is it
fee,
6
but-
or 8?
But the thing is like, yeah, that can be helpful sometimes, but there does come a point where it gets ridiculous, where I've clicked on live streams on channels that I like, where I'm like, oh, they're live. And then I'm like, my God, there's 15 people on here. It looks like Hollywood Squares. I'm not going to be able to follow this. Like, this is, and then I just,
You need to turn to the Brady Bunch.
I mean, because at that point,
Drew for the center square.
yeah, like at that point, you need like a card where you're like, is it my turn to talk? I'd like to say something. You know, like I don't even know how they get anything done.
Well, it's that stream Laser Pants was on a week ago with the Comic Skate Nights, and they went into a whole long segment that he knew nothing about. And he just sitting there quietly, and he goes, I'm going. Leaves the stream. I'm like, okay. So I'm messing with him. Would you
I'm keeping that in my
no, I just left.
I'm keeping that in my back pocket for the next time I get caught up like that. The thing is, though, is that Ryan can get away with that because he has that personality.
Yep.
If I did that,
Be like, he's an asshole.
yeah, I'd wake up to 25,000 less subscribers. Because I saw a stream the other night. I heard about it on a message board. You were a dick. And so
I got my own stream.
yeah.
Oh, but anyway, yeah, this was fun.
It's been a blast.
enjoyed it. One of my
Great
longest-
Saturday night.
Hanging with you guys it's fun. It's fun at the cons, but we can all be together all the time. Well, except for Michael, I could drive up to Atlanta and
Look, there's nothing stopping you except the Atlanta traffic. There's nothing stopping you.
yeah, true. But
And a
anyway,
locked door and all the lights out. Don't move.
but yeah, and I'll tell y'all something off air in a minute. But yeah. Anyway, thank you guys again for coming on. Thank y'all in the chat for watching and sticking with us.
Yeah, chat's been awesome.
Yeah, I love a lively chat. physically and what do you call it? Wordly? Virtually. There we go. So
Remember, everybody get out there and get a snow job.
Physically.
Yes. From a Big Ben.
With silver lipstick.
Winter is coming.
Wow.
It's so dumb.
It's so dumb, it's brilliant.
No! It's just dumb.
On that note, I will play us out. See you guys.
Oh.